Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Yacht Club. We are back after a month off. Sorry we missed you a couple of weeks ago, but what a time to be back here at Invictus. It is such an exciting time in the community. We've got so much stuff going on, so much to talk about. So that is great to have you all here with us and all of our guests and hosts. Les One STEM Citizen, who is still semi-homeless in between homes. I think he's just closing on his house or just about to close on his house. And he has his new house picked out, and I think they're moving in next month. So hopefully he'll be settled in, and we'll get our lovely dulcet tones of STEM Citizen back in a month or so. He's going to try to pop in to chat when he gets a chance here. But how is everybody doing? Welcome to the Yacht Club and Invictus 29. Whatever this year is.
55?
55.
Yeah.
55.
I get confused with that 900-year and 925-year difference or something. What's everybody drinking? How's everybody's week been or month? Invictus going? I am having champagne in light of it is Idris Day. Happy birthday to the Idris after 13 years. Cheers to all of you Idris owners out there, future and past. It is amazing. Mystic Star resubbing for 73 months. That is incredible.
Woo-hoo.
6 years
Nice.
and a month. We have been going.
That is incredible.
A very, very long time. Griffin, you've been on many, many times. We probably could not even count how many times you've been on. And Sirius been with us many times now. And Seg, from an occasional guest to a frequent guest to a co-host. Great to have everybody here. Cheers. How's everybody's week
Cheers.
been?
Good. Anticipating leading up to this week with Invictus. I'm sure all of us have been curious and excited about what this year is presenting, what they're bringing.
It is a fun opportunity to continue to see CIG's media reveal little Easter eggs and little things for us to ramp up the excitement to. And now here we are. All the speculation has come to an end, and everything old is new again. A new round of speculation and discussion kicks in. So, welcome to the circle.
The endless Star Citizen cycle. Yeah, it has been a wild week of speculation about the Idris coming out until yesterday. And even through yesterday, people were still saying it's not coming, it's not coming, it's not coming. There was so much evidence. If you pay attention to the leaks, I don't listen to leak rumors. There's so many leak rumors floating around. And then, oh my God, we had so much fake news. People were faking posts by CIG. There was a fake post by John Crew, a fake post by Tyler. Yeah, and a bunch of just really, they take the RSI website and then they edit the HTML files and then take a screenshot of it so it looks like it's right on the RSI site. But if you don't see it on the RSI tracker or the dev tracker, it didn't happen. And so it was really a crazy several days. I was going to try to work most of yesterday. I got nothing done. And basically I was going to take most of today off. I ended up taking all of today off from 7 o'clock this morning. It was just nonstop all day. I woke up to the community because we have a worldwide community and people are talking all through the late evening and then picking up early in the EU and just around the clock crazy hype. Seg, have you been caught up in the hype at all?
I am too caught up in it. I am completely engrossed in the drama. Like at this point, I cannot put my phone down because I'm constantly refreshing Reddit to see like what the newest scoop is because it seems to be ongoing. It's like after a couple more hours, something else comes out and we learn more about it. So, and like these blade sales that are going on right now, I mean, it's possible we'll get more blades later on, as far as I'm aware. So, like, within the next couple of weeks, we might get more blades. So, like, this drama is still unfolding. And it's more than I can bear, that's for sure. And I definitely need a supporter or someone to support me not purchase an Idris, because I really want to purchase an Idris. And I never wanted to purchase an Idris, and I don't know what's wrong with me right now. I think I need to be committed. That's normal, right?
You need to turn off everything to do with Star Citizen, turn off Discord, turn off Reddit, turn off Twitter, like Blue Sky, it's like everything to do with the community, because you are going to be so overwhelmed with Idris
Totally.
everywhere,
Totally.
everywhere for the
And you
next
know
week.
what? Yeah,
It's
like a week ago, I knew this was going to
incredible.
happen. It's like, I need to take a vacation or something right now. I should have done that a week ago.
I actually have to go out of town a couple of days next week, and it's like, oh my god, I may have to reschedule that trip. It's like I right in the middle of Invictus, and for those of y'all who don't know, I am the unofficial official greeter to the concierge chat on the RSI website, and I'm there every day since early 2017 when that came out, and it just gets so crazy at this time of year. It's a great way for me to pay attention to, oh, what else is going on in the wider community, general sentiments. How is the game performing outside of our large communities in the Yacht Club and the Jump Club? Um, and it's just been absolutely nuts in there. I mean, people just frothing at the mouth to get their hands on the Idris. And then this last wave, so we're on wave 2, an hour and 15 minutes ago, and everybody thought that it was sold out 2 minutes early. It turns out that there was a 12-minute delay. So everybody was freaking out. It's like they screwed everybody over. It's like, and the amount of nerds that are just frothing at the mouth to get their hands on this Idris at $1,500 war bond price now and $1,900 store credit. The prices went up. What do y'all think of those prices? Is that about in line with what y'all were thinking?
Yeah,
I mean,
we knew it was going
yeah,
to
I
go
mean,
up.
yeah, I mean, we figured the increase was, and I'm glad it wasn't what some people were speculating, because some people were speculating even more than that. My concern is, and this gets so lost in the shuffle, right? There's so much excitement and hype about this, and don't get me wrong, there are some people who honestly have waited because they wanted to invest their money or donate their money or give toward the project when they had something tangible in their hands. And so they've sat and waited. And I understand those people who may have gone out to dinner and said, "Hey, it's finally out. Instead of me having $1,300 laying around for 8 years, I've done something with that money. Now I can buy it." But I do get concerned about the there may be some people who have buyer's remorse when this is all said and done, just because of misinformation about what capital ships will be able to do in the future. And there's still some technical hurdles that CIG has to get past before they can accomplish what some of these people may want in the game. So I'm excited for people who are looking forward to it. I'm excited for people who own them. I'm not throwing any shade toward them. I'm happy they've waited a very long time for this. I remember the first time I don't remember if it was Citizen Con or whatever con it was. It was something where in the first time we had that shot on Port Olisar and the Idris flew over us and the place just went crazy. I remember that. I remember every time we've gotten exposed to this ship. And even though I've never been an owner, I've been excited for it to enter into the game. But I am concerned that there may be some. Now, mind you, there's some folks out there who got that type of money to throw it at it, But we've kind of drifted away from that development attitude about why we contribute, and it's gotten more into buying ships. And I just hope that people kind of keep. I'm doing this also because I want to support the project. If we get into the whole it's just buying ships thing, I worry about that a little bit because some people may be disappointed later. At least that's my take on it. So hope I'm not raining on anybody's parade.
No, I know. I have a similar take. I do believe that people are still betting on AI blades and their ability to solo these ships.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if they're making that
the old
bet, they're
NPC
probably
crew,
yeah.
we've got to touch on the gut punch rug pull of no NPC crew. We've talked about it a couple of times since CitizenCon here. That not just Rich Tyler saying that we're not going to have NPC crew at 1.0. We've had a lot of conversations in the Yacht Club and the Jump Club about what this really means, and also as part of the fairly high level change in direction of the game company because of the management. He is the new game director over the entire Persistent Universe and Squadron 42. And for the past 12 or 13 years, it was Tony Zervik. And he had a very clear vision, which was never very clearly communicated to what he was going to be creating as far as a living, breathing universe. And the NPCs as an important part of crewing the ships. And Chris Roberts was very, very clear on like your ships would be able to be supplemented with NPCs. If you've got a cutlass or a freelancer and you need to have one or two more crew, you can have NPCs as small as that. Not necessarily javelins. We're not talking about soloing javelins. We're talking about people that have freelancers, starlancers, carracks, starfarers that they're mostly solo players, or most of the time they don't have time to try to coordinate with 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 10 other people. I really feel strongly that we're probably never going to see those, and I know that that's an extreme statement. I don't think that we're going to see NPC crews as envisioned. So, while I am super excited to have the Idris as the largest single seat fighter right now, I took it out doing bounties today. I don't know who else took it out doing bounties, but that was way fun. But yeah, I completely agree. As more systems come into play, it is going to be much more difficult for people to be able to field these things, and tremendously expensive. Some folks are saying that $1,900 was a crazy price for it. I called it at $1,900. I actually thought it was going to be $1,900 war bond. The $1,500 war bond, I think, was way lower than what it could have been. But they also increased to 6 waves, not 3, 6 waves. So there, and we don't know how many ships are in each wave, so they may have significantly more than they have had in the past. Temple, thanks for resubbing. Adventure Bear, thanks for resubbing. There were several other people who resubbed earlier. Thanks to everybody for all of your support of the show over the many, many, many years, 37 months out to 73 months. It's been a long time. Yeah, and the kit money too. Well, we'll get into the Idris a little bit later. We have a whole segment about that. We've totally sidetracked as expected. Ari, how are you doing? How's been your last couple of weeks? And you've been playing, doing Star Citizen. Any hype around the Idris? Even though you said you don't own an Idris yet.
Yeah, nothing in particular around the edges for me. But yeah, we didn't have a show 2 weeks ago because it was a deployment day for me at work. It was for a project I've been working on since July of last year. So, and that's all out. It's in the wild. It went well. So that's huge. And they're going to be bringing us all to the home office out of state in like a month to celebrate. So good things happening at work, and that kind of
Here,
the pressure's off now, so I can get back to hopefully streaming a little more and enjoying Invictus now and enjoying Star Citizen again. I did get in and play last week, and it was the night 411 dropped. I got in, and it was incredibly smooth because, like Jordan, you said, the servers were fresh and everything, and they haven't been filled with tons and tons of items yet, and it played perfectly, and I was so happy because I haven't had a session like that in forever where everything works so well. And I did the 890 jump mission. It was great. But yeah,
4.0 was
it's
a
been
real
good.
mess for months. It really
Yes, it
was.
was. Yeah, I tried streaming a few times and it got pretty frustrating, and so the motivation kind of dropped for me for a little while until this time of the year when things pick up again. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to just playing and enjoying the game again. And I was telling Maya about how cool it is to go to a convention within a game like Star Citizen, and so she's looking forward to trying that out with me this weekend. So we're gonna be doing that. Yeah. And when it comes to the AI blades, by the way, nobody knows this, but I gave blood down in LA during CitizenCon 2 years ago, and it's because they're gonna use maiden bots instead of AI blades in all the ships. So
Got some maiden DNA in there.
yeah.
That'll be good. But at least on all of our ship's crew will be extraordinarily cute.
Pigtails for the win. Yeah.
For the win. And 50 Shades of Hay and Tenbull, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. Really appreciate that. Thanks for helping out the community there. And yeah, I took most of 3 months off, or 4 months. Yeah, most of 3 or 4 months off and just barely played. And we've talked about that on the previous shows. That 4.0 was just really, really rough. It's a good time to take a break and this is a great time to kind of get re-engaged because the quality of the servers has been much better. I've been playing quite a bit more the past few weeks. I've been doing a bunch of cargo running. I got to touch base with Seg on cargo running. Have you been doing cargo running also?
Oh yeah, absolutely, full tilt. And I got to the experience level of hauling reputation,
Nice.
and I started doing Hull C missions, and we did some in the C2 as well, which was totally like I could talk about that for hours. But one thing was hilarious was that we did the Hull C hauling mission this morning right before Invictus launched in 4.1.1, and it was a dumpster fire. And I seen bugs I'd never seen before, and I'm like, what is happening right now? So that was really exciting. But yeah, great
so in the
times.
new patch, the Hull C is all bugged out?
Yeah, it's better than it was before, but it's still a little buggy for sure.
That's interesting because I know a bunch of people in chat, Vice R and Adventure Bear and some other folks have been running Hull C cargo quite a bit over the past month, and they've been saying that they've had pretty good results. Of course, for experienced Star citizens with a very high bug tolerance, pretty good. Could be miserable for a lot of people still.
Yeah,
And
for
yeah,
sure.
Vice got to senior level running stuff. I am at member level. I have only been running small cargo missions, so I've been stacking eight or nine small missions into the first the Mercury Star Runner, and then I switched over to the Starlancer Max. I love that ship. That is a freelancer that I have been wanting for 10 years. I love the Starlancer Max with the Atlas, and I'd say $500,000 a run and get it done in like an hour and a half. And it's just a lot of fun in a fairly small ship. Just moving a whole bunch of boxes. I love doing that. T, you haven't been playing because you have been just buried still, haven't you? Have you come up for air at all?
No, not really. No. My work week is crazy, and now I don't know about you guys, but it seems like everybody I know is graduating or having a baby shower or having a wedding shower, and so I was busy with that stuff last weekend. Saturday, I've got a wedding to go to in the morning and a graduation party in the afternoon. So May just is crazy in my world right now. But yeah, I know almost nothing that you guys are talking about because I've been offline working all day. So I'm like really jonesing to hear about all of the good news and all the controversy and all all you guys,
all the Star Citizen,
all the Star Citizenitas. Yeah, so can't wait to hear it.
Well, that's a great segue into what people in the community have been doing when we roll into screenshots. So we've got 33 screenshots because there's just been so much going on, and we haven't been on for a month. And I wanted to include a bunch of stuff from some of our shenanigans. So we've been doing shenanigans every Saturday for the past month. I think we might have missed one. So this was 3 weeks ago. This is Mystic Star and Pico. So I think we talked about it on the last show, actually, a month ago. We saw somebody riding the 890 through the jump point. So it's like, we've got to do that. So that Saturday, we had, I don't know, 6 or 8 of us. We got the 890 out and got a bunch of furniture out and sat on the deck of the 890 and rode the jump point, and it was an incredible experience. It was just so cool sitting out there. I flew the first time. I think Crunch flew one of our other, or I forget who flew one of the other times, but had a couple of people fly us, and it was so much fun. Bob Juggernaut says, I love the weekly in the show title. Yeah, we're not quite weekly. One day we'll get back there, hopefully, like bi-weekly to adjust that. Another shot actually in the jump tunnel. I actually have a little video somewhere in the mix. Show the actual trip, but we got a few shots of this we can roll through. Where it was just great. We're in our living room.
Oh, that's great! Damn it! I wish I went to this.
Oh man, it was so much fun. It was
very
a
cool.
cool experience. Actually, riding out there, flying through the jump tunnel, it was crazy. It was so cool. What a great experience. Work was there, yes. Look at that. It's our living room
Yeah,
out
that's
there.
great.
Super cool.
We had chairs, sofas, we had a table, we had beer. By Insidian. A lot of people taking a lot of great screenshots as always.
Mhm.
Insidian is Coda. This is by Ubu. Ubu was taking a whole bunch of shots.
Mhm.
Cool shot.
Cool.
So Mintake had a few where he was doing this Assassin's Creed look.
That's
And
nice.
that is
Oh,
a
yeah.
that is
That's really
really
nice.
nice look.
Mm-hmm.
Totally Assassin's Creed. There's Ubu now. It's some
Very
great
nice.
screenshots. I had to pick and choose. We had so many. This is by Vice R.
Mhm.
That lovely P8R. This is by Lost Valor. Lost Valor had a bunch
Lost
of really
Valor.
good shots. Good looking ship there. Another one by Mintake. That Assassin's Creed look going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Perched on a rooftop looking at who they're going to assassinate.
Nice.
This is by Drowl Iskaldur. Very cool looking shot looking out over the city there. Very kind of Blade Runner-esque or cyberpunkish.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of looks like Killmonger from the back.
This is by Lynn's Nation, I think.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Out there on an alien planet with your kit. I think this one is by Commander Crow.
Oh, wow.
We're still getting photos of Yella,
Let's go.
despite 10 years.
I think this is by
closed
Lynn's Nation.
accident.
Okay,
this is Lynn's Nation. Yeah. And then
This is
okay,
Lynn's?
this is the Lynn's Nation one.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, this is the Lynn's Nation one. And this is Commander Crow.
Right.
And then we have another one by Lynn's Nation, or by Drell Iskaldur. Drell takes some great screenshots. That one is so cool. Some really good Mirai branding there.
Mm-hmm.
Couple by Vice R. Very distinctive look there.
I'm not sure if this is one of the new hairstyles. I don't recognize that one. That's
No, this
the
is before this patch. So
4.1.1.
this was like, yeah,
Okay.
this was the previous patch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have not checked out the new hairstyles.
Newer, but not the newest. Okay.
Newish.
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 So many are coming this year. It's really fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is by
Yeah.
Timber Colt. That nice Meridian 890 back there.
Doesn't that look nice? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It looks
Great
all right.
things, finally.
It looks all right.
I think we've got another one by Ubu here.
That's that iridescent armor set. I like that.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's a nice color.
Scorched.
Oh, that's right, the Scorched. Gives you some added bonuses.
I didn't know that was clouds. I think it was a volcano.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Another one by Lynn's Nation. That's a
It's
beautiful.
nice. Yeah, nice depth of field.
This really looks like it's got some. What's that software that they use for or post processing?
Reshade? No.
Reshade.
Yeah, reshade. Reshade. It looks so sharp. Lighting the colors.
Lynn's Nation's been pretty active recently. He joined us in a gameplay session last week, and I saw him streaming on Twitch this week as well. So Lens Station's doing all sorts of crazy stuff right now.
All right, Shot says that scorched armor and weapons are only cosmetics. Attachments add bonuses. Okay. They still look good. There's another one by
Indeed.
Mentake. Okay. He goes for some of these really great portrait shots. Character shots. Another one by Mentake. This is of the Idris on display at Area 18. It is pretty.
That's cool.
Pretty cool there. Everybody needs to go check that out.
How do you think that Idris is? How do you think that Idris is staying up?
Good question.
Crazy glue. Crazy glue.
Magic.
It's burning a whole lot of fuel in VTOL.
Yeah.
But hey, it's government money. They don't care. Yeah, when I was in there during PTU, it was crazy because people were trying to crash in. I mean, there were all these Polarises. I mean, if you spawned in at Area 18 in the PTU, I mean, there were crashed ships everywhere. You had to duck under them and jump over them, and someone would glitch out and you'd fall through Area 18 and have to respawn and have to get all through, and then you finally get to it, and then there's like all these ships crashing into it constantly, and all these Polarises and 890s, and then 890s crashing into Polarises and crashing each other. It was just absolute madness. So thank God they tested it, and so we have a no-fly zone there, and it's nice and peaceful in live. So this was another shenanigans this past Saturday, I think. Gunnerot actually organized this one for us. We took a group over to Pyro for some sightseeing adventures. We had the Polaris, a couple of 600 executive models there, Carrick. The Prowler, I think we landed that in one of the ships there. I think in the Polaris. Okay. Getting ready to do our jump. Somehow I didn't have a jump drive because I had upgraded my quantum drive. Didn't realize, like, oh shit, you pull your quantum drive out, you got to put your jump drive back on. It's like, I'll catch up with you guys in just a few minutes. Yeah. Jump all the way back to Microtech and back. Here's a good shot by Tenbull. Tenbull is playing every single day, never takes a break. Nice shot there from our shenanigans. This is by Warcabot. I think that this was also during shenanigans. He came back in a 400. Parked out on the lake there. Yeah, we found some beautiful areas on Bloom. Really, really nice areas I hadn't seen before.
Yeah, Bloom can be very gorgeous. Very gorgeous.
After he sunk the Prowler. Then another shot here. Some people are running around, some ground vehicles, a Polaris. I don't know about y'all, but I am not a fan of the entire bottom of the 600 and the legs being all gold. That is way too much gold, and it's just tacky to me. That's my ship, by the way. I did hit Legatus a little while ago, and it's like I hope they redo that paint with the rework. It's tacky.
Well, they are. Word on the street is that once the 600i rework is in, that there will be an additional rework for the executive. So I think that's the time to get whatever they're going to do there.
I need to actually probably pull some of those notes if we have time for the China Bar Citizen, where John Crew had a big long talk and a pre-recorded video, and then I think he was actually there, so he did some interviews as well, or some of the other folks did. And so there's a lot of information dropped during the China Bar Citizens. Like, I don't know if I'll have time to touch on that today, but if we do, we will. But yeah, he did talk about the interior being redone. I think it's probably just cosmetic, most likely, because when the 600 was initially announced, and we got our concept brochure catalog in 2017, they showed all the different materials that you could choose from for your interior, kind of like the 300 customization. The 600 is supposed to get that. The 890 is supposed to get that someday. I'm not holding my breath that we get it in the next 5 years. But
don't you think it should?
Hob Kebab in your chat says maybe they'll add more gold, Jurin, just to
Oh God, no!
This
Like
big
putting
gold
another
plated ship.
basketball court in the yeah, like putting another basketball court in the 890. Never fly it again.
Sorry,
Don't you,
Sigalian, you were getting ready to say something. I apologize.
That's okay. Sorry. Don't you think they should add a med bay to the 600i in the rework though? Not all
It's
cosmetic,
getting
but
one.
They're
yeah.
getting one, yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
they're getting one.
Yeah, it's getting
Wouldn't
a
cosmetic
tier
change,
2 med
though.
bay, and more cargo, bigger area. Everything's going to be so nice on the 600 someday.
I agree.
I enjoy it because of this view. It is one of the best views of
It's
a
an amazing
medium
view.
large ship.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
Amazing view.
I just
But they
that's
need to
why I
get
love
rid of
flying
that view into the bedroom, if you know what I mean, from the outside.
Just put a privacy screen there.
It needs to be one-way
it needs-
glass. Yeah, it doesn't need to
Yeah.
be two-way
yeah,
glass for the front.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be darkening where you see out, you don't see in.
Right.
Exactly. It should be easy for them to do. It's
Well,
like
you know what? You know what?
bottom
The
half of it.
Joran, the Phoenix's bedroom. You know, the master bedroom. That one's tinted. It's one way on that one, so
That's
they could do it. They just
I
got to swap it
know.
out.
It's
Yeah,
almost one way.
Yeah,
There's still some
just a
ability to see a
little
little bit
bit.
in.
Yeah, but I'll
yeah.
take
You
that
look,
over what we
Yeah.
got right
look
now,
smaller.
man.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Get some
Yeah,
transparent aluminum
I
or something.
I don't want anybody seeing me
Transparent
in my
aluminum.
yeah, in my origin underwear walking around in there. I got to figure that out. So okay.
but it was a great location that we found over there on Bloom.
Mm-hmm.
There's a good shot. That's
It's a
great.
nice shot of the group.
Very
That was
cool.
that was while I was flying to Microtech and back. I wasn't there. But yeah, every Saturday we do shenanigans. Actually, so this Saturday we're starting at 4 p.m. Eastern time for an Idris meetup. So we're gonna have an
Hmm.
Idris meetup this Saturday. If you've got an Idris, bring it. If you just want to come hang out, it's going to be in the Yacht Club. So we've got 700 person servers. You can come and join us and just hang out, join in on us. We're going to have a nice big event with a lot of big ships. Super
Nice.
excited for this.
Nice.
This is a good shot by, was this Gunnerrot? Nope. Who is this by? I've lost track. Papa Juggernaut, I think. Yes, that was by Papa
Yes,
Juggernaut.
Papa Juggernaut.
Yeah, good good lighting on that reclaimer there.
Mm-hmm. Nice
Don't see
red.
enough reclaimer shots. And this is by Lens Nation. Beautiful shot of that C1 there.
Mm-hmm.
Like that depth of field.
Yeah,
Another
that's
great
great.
shot by Trell Iskaldur. He's great at that really dramatic lighting and shadows,
Mm-hmm. That's really
looking off
nice.
into the distance like that Mirai shot.
Really nice.
Yeah,
Very
listen,
well.
listen. I mean, Star Citizen is a screenshot simulator. So when I
Totally.
saw this section of the agenda, I was like, are we going to see some
Mm-hmm.
shots or am I going to see what I see every
Mm-hmm.
day? And to be fair, the curation here is excellent. This is great. This is elevated stuff. So I appreciate it.
And
This
you
is
know
really
what?
good.
But
This has been
glad
years
you
and
like it.
years of screenshots, and like we're still seeing new stuff, and we're always seeing original content.
Right.
So it's not like it gets old. I mean, I would say this is like the best part of the show. Most people seem mostly engaged around this.
Mm.
So screenshot simulator for the win.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
no, it is good stuff. Powerful.
I love it. Even though I play a lot when I'm not taking a break. I seeing what other people are saying, what other people are doing as part of the community, and
Mm-hmm.
then just the beautiful views that they're creating, and then just the dedication to taking beautiful screenshots. It's elevated everybody, and so many people put more work into learning from others. Like we've had Haska on here many times, and he has been very generous with his time, or especially over the first few years when we were really ramping this up, of teaching people about how to take better screenshots and talking about the framing and the lighting and how many times, and you may have to take 10 or 20 shots to get one really good one. And it's like, and that's the one. And just playing with the framing and the lighting and the angles and the backgrounds and all these things. And when everybody is going through the screenshots channel in the Yacht Club, I mean, this is, like you said, this is carefully curated out of hundreds of screenshots. for the ones that stand out the best of showing variety and quality. That just everybody's learning from everybody else, and it's like, oh, that's how they took that shot. Oh, this is how they took that shot. This lighting, that angle, and that background, and it helps everybody. And it's just, I love the screenshots. It's
Yeah, and to your point,
sometimes it can go on a little long.
yeah, no. To your point, it also reveals how people are seeing and using the game, right? Every time I see a healthy variety of screenshots, I'm reminded of how I'm hoping that CIG will put some tourism missions in, right? Because players are revealing incredible locations every day with these shots, and it wouldn't hurt for them to have the same way we've got these routine patrol missions now, to have these tourist location stop-off missions, right, as like a precursor to maybe passenger missions, you know, and having the player base involved in sourcing some of those locations would be, I think, very cool.
Yeah, being
It's a
able
great idea.
to mark locations on your map that's like, oh, here's a really cool location, and like people should come see this. I don't know if you've seen the verse guide, but that's a great resource and tool for the community to find just all kinds of amazing locations in the verse that other people have found you may or may not have seen, a lot of hidden locations, and that sort of stuff. And a lot of people just go around looking for new, interesting places. Like today, I wanted to go down to find a nice spot on Microtech with my Idris to take some shots and just hang out at a pretty location. And I went through the verse guide and was like, oh, this looks like a nice spot. And jump down to this outpost, and there's a lake and there's a river and there's a little derelict outpost there and trees, and it's like, what a beautiful spot. I think we actually have a couple of shots of that here in a minute. This is a shot by Iron Claws. This is actually him heading to me this afternoon with his Idris.
Nice.
And here's me parked in that location. I love the shark paint. I love that so much. It is so fun. I was not expecting that. I love it. So I'm not sure what happened. I was fairly sure that I was parked on flat ground with my engines off, but something happened and I was about to get out and drive around, and I'm looking out the back and like it's flying all over the place. And I thought somebody had run into my ship and was taking off. And so I went and I grabbed a gun and I went up to the bridge and nobody there. And then all of a sudden, and the ship's upside down and sideways. And so I get in there and I'm trying to right the ship, and it's falling over and it's bouncing upside down, and I'm stuck on a tree. And it's like, oh shit. I had an F8, a Guardian, an Intrepid, a Pisces, a Lynx, and like 3 or 4 other things all loaded up onto there with some gear and things. And like, I'm gonna be stuck on a tree and I'm going to have to just claim the whole thing. I finally got it loose, and I'm flopping around like a fish out of water. Somebody said, like, this is a shark trying to get it back in the water.
That's an old bug. It's called the wind. It's called the wind blue. It's an old bug.
VTOL's not working, and this and that.
Yeah.
If I was in decoupled mode, and finally after like 20 minutes, I got it back over. It's like, oh my God. But that was a fun time. So we will roll from that into the community stuff out on Reddit. Reddit has been super busy.
Let's do the first giveaway, Jordan.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do a giveaway. What are we giving away there, T? You want to run that while I refill my drink?
Yep, sounds good. Good luck, everybody.
Here we go.
Gaming Nightlife. Congratulations, are you here?
Gaming Nightlife. Gaming Nightlife.
You know, I did 07
You are a winner.
Oh, there they
Gaming
are.
Nightlife is here. Woo! Congrats.
You are a winner.
Woo. Way to go. You said Jordan's giving away his Idris. Was that what I heard earlier?
That's what I heard, yeah.
That's what I
I
heard.
did too.
There you go.
Okay. There you go.
Knock it out right quick.
New Idris owner. Fabulous.
He said do it before he gets back.
Well, we can jump over into the Reddit stuff.
Sure.
Yay, let's go to Reddit.
Reddit. Because we read it.
Yep.
Bastion of reasonableness and sanity.
Of course.
Wow. Thanks, All Right Shot, for the 10 gift subs. Thank you so much.
Chuck Testa. Oh, man.
Yes, this is a great video. Have you guys seen it? Have you seen this before?
I have.
No, I have not.
This guy lays down in the bushes, and the guy in the ship thinks that he's nailed him, right? He thinks he's dead, right? And you'll see him kind of come to look, I guess, to see if the guy's dead or whatever. But watch what happens.
Yeah, this is so cool. Did y'all give away my Idris?
Missile launcher.
No,
not as far as you know.
Railgun.
Railgun. Is the railgun better than the missile launcher?
Hey, well, it works. That's all I can tell you.
The railgun is pretty
going.
OP.
Is it?
Nice.
And then he goes over to finish him off on top of it. Look.
Yeah. Oh
Make
my.
sure he's done.
Always double tap.
I guess, eh?
He's like, you shoot at me? How dare you? How dare you shoot at me?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, some fun stuff happens out there. I that's one of the things I like Reddit for is the fun, interesting things that we see.
10 bill,
So
10 subs. 10 bill gave you guys 10 subs. Woo!
Thanks, Tempo.
Read that
Thanks,
right?
Big Shot. Appreciate you guys. Yeah.
There you go.
Really appreciate our community helping with all the giveaways. So the great thing here that we see is that the Exodus size 10 laser on the Idris is gimbaled. It follows the target and moves.
Okay. Do people still use the hammerhead? Is that still a spaceship? Is that a thing?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
They might start using it now since the Idris is out. They might start using it.
Yeah.
Nick says, I think they took that out in the PU. No, because I was in the PU earlier, and I was actually doing some VR LT, the lowest level bounties with Idris by myself, and it still seems to be gimbaled. Mm-hmm. This was a great post. I thought it's like buy your ships for this. You know what they look like, not for the stats. I mean, I've been saying that for 10 almost 10 years now. It's like the stats will change. Buy for looks, buy for role, or just join your friendships and have fun. Like, it's not like we have a shortage of ships around here.
Yeah, enjoy your ship vibes, right? But don't get caught up in the numbers. The numbers will change on you.
Yes.
Try and have at least one friend that has a hot tub on their ship.
Yes, that's important.
Yeah, it's important.
The hot tub, the spa, the pool. I love the fact that Jared is in game.
In more ways than one, but yeah.
There's mixed feelings about that. I don't mind the fact that he's in there. I wish he'd be more of an Easter egg more than a obvious thing, because we hear him all the time. And Derek, we love you. Nothing against that, but we hear him every week. And so I'm glad that they've moved him to this new role, but like the NPC role that he was doing was kind of jarring a little bit because you'd be standing at the train and you would just hear him talking while you're standing at the tram, I really wish they had made him. Oh yeah. Oh, Area 18. He was always at the tram, and so I just kind of wish that he was kind of like you had to find him kind of thing. Like where's Waldo? Where's Lando? I would have loved to have had him like be more. Just you happen to run into him more than him being a common voice that you hear, and maybe that's just because they were testing it too. So we'll have to see where they ultimately place him. But I know he did the newscaster thing, so we'll see.
Yeah,
or make him a mission giver.
Yeah. Ooh, that would be cool. Yeah, I mean, I'd love having him in the game. I just don't want it to be a common Jarrett in the game, because Jarrett's not a common guy,
Yeah, not somebody that you see every single day at the tram. Yeah, probably not. I mean, it makes a lot of sense to have him there for Invictus.
I I wish they would bring back the Chef Lando concept, and he was supposed to be like the bartender on the edge of the universe or something like that.
That would have been
Chef at the end
cool.
of the-
Something
that
like
would have been
that would
great.
have been really cool.
Fly
Yeah.
out there and he cooks you a
Go
burger
out
or
to his
something like
place.
that.
Pours you a drink, you know? That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
So this is pretty funny. They were they were trying to get the Polaris for the Wicklow mission or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like fly high 890 Sky King.
Oh, 890, that's not how it works. Nope.
Whoa. Such desecration. Such desecration.
Oh my.
It went, yep.
That escalated quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And the Buccaneer survives. Of course it does.
It's funny.
I like this one. I see what you're doing with the new hairstyle, CIG.
Yeah. People have been talking about the John Wick hairstyle that's in there now.
I haven't seen it. I did not even think about going to look at hairstyles.
That was the first thing I did for 4.1.1. I'm like, gotta cut my hair. Step one.
John Wick is a precursor to pets. Then, if you've got John Wick, you've got to have his dog. So
that's true. And a pencil is a weapon.
This one is the new railgun sounds. You'll have to turn the Twitch sound up since we don't have it in here.
I could just make it. It's like pew, pew, pew.
I don't know if any of you grew up with Star Blazers or Space Battleship Yamato, but that reminds me of the wave motion gun.
I think all of us here have been waiting for 30, 40 years, maybe longer, to have the Space Battleship Yamato space laser, and that is probably why we love the space laser so very much. Like I watched that show in the mid 70s, like 1976, 77.
I still predict that the Area 18 landing zone is actually a ship, just like in the original Robotech. If you look at it when you're approaching it from above, it looks like a crash landed ship that colonized the planet. I think at some point they could do like a surprise lore or something about that, and it could just take off one day for some story far in the future, of course. But
it's a Kurthak ship.
Yeah.
Dennis Dobbin says, "Have you ever seen the live action movie of Star Blazers?" I have that same watch, and I have not. I have got to see that. I have been wanting to, but I have a real hard time taking time out because I don't. Is it dubbed or is it subtitles? I thought it was subtitles.
I think it's subtitles.
Yeah, so it's like taking 90 minutes to 2 hours out and not doing anything and paying 100% attention to something is super hard.
Visar says you can find both, though. You said you can find both.
Yeah. Okay, I'll need to find the dub version. This is the Idris shark mouth paint.
Mm-hmm.
Just love that. It's just so silly. It is just totally me.
So if you're an Idris owner, can you gift this paint to other Idris owners?
I don't know if you can gift paints.
Yeah.
I assume you can probably gift paints.
Well, these paints are locked. You can only get to them if you're an Idris owner. And I'm wondering, if I'm not an Idris owner, can I just get someone to buy the paint for me?
I don't know. I know the kits are bad. You can only buy one per Idris.
Right.
There's our laser beam.
Yeah, Star Citizen is beam weapons.
Finally have beam weapons. How do y'all feel about that?
You know what? Like, I think that it's important to just tip a hat towards the EVE community, because there was a lot of good things that EVE did, and they had beam weapons all over the place. And another thing they had too is they implemented like a point and click functionality for space combat. And with the server blades, we might be moving in that direction. So I think that like we should do everything we can to cater to the Eve players. Maybe unpopular opinion.
Amir asks, does that mean cut through ships? At larger sizes, it does. So we saw that in the Squadron 42 demo, where the really
Kingship.
large was that the Kingship that had the giant beam weapon there, and it sliced through the back of the Bengal. That was pretty cool.
Mhm.
It kind of does with smaller ships. With medium and larger ships, it just puts a lot of damage, and you can see the damage on the hull as you're hitting it. It's pretty cool. So focus on content this year was a good move, CIG.
That's a picture of me right there. I sure like donuts. Yep.
The funding is up tremendously this year, and it is. I hate to say record year of funding, but it's significantly higher than the highest years of funding that we have had in the past. So, and that was pre-Invictus. This was, of course, hilarious, and we see this at pretty much every major new ship release. Goodbye, Polaris.
Sorry.
Except there's still a lot of Polaris owners out there that don't own Idrises.
Yeah.
I think what you'll end up seeing is Polaris owners working harder to fully crew their ships in anticipation of coming across not fully crewed Idrises and seeing
Is
how
it
they
that
match
close?
up.
Is it that close in a battle where a fully crewed Polaris will take out an uncrewed Idris?
It maybe not, but I think that'll be the tactic
We
that
don't know.
people will try. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, 'cause there are a lot of solo Idrises out there. So this was nice to see the Argo Cargo getting some action, so actually moving some big crates around.
I love this utility. I wish for more of this.
I love moving boxes. It's like one of my favorite things.
You're playing the right game if you like moving boxes.
I know. I've played moving boxes in the past.
There are a lot of people who feel very differently about it. I'm not one of them, but there are a lot of people who do not
This
like
was
moving
made-
boxes.
And they don't have to do cargo. There's lots of other game loops, as we've seen. DeBoa, it's good to see you, man.
Hate the poets.
Great member of our community. They're going to be out in Las Vegas for the big event that we're going to talk about here in just a bit. Next. Oh, the hidden bar at the asteroid bases. Okay, so any of the RABs have a hidden bar there. So if you click through the images on this link, it walks you through how to find the hidden bar at these asteroid mining bases. So I posted this into info links in Yacht Club if you want to go and grab this.
What is an asteroid base? I asked for a friend.
That they are brand new mining bases that are locations all around Stanton in the asteroid fields. So they're asteroid mining bases, abandoned. And they were saying that there was nothing there, except there is some
Drunk Picos.
more unannounced sneak content. Sneaky CIG, we love you.
And this is the type of gameplay I love, when people find stuff, you know.
Yes, all the hidden locations that CIG is putting in there.
Yeah, it's very cool.
I can't wait to do my first box delivery mission.
Very cool.
So there's an Idris K, there's an Idris M, there's an Idris T, and an Idris P now. So there's 4 of them.
Well, there's two are kits. Two are kits.
Yeah.
Only 2 ships.
2 upgrade kits.
2 ships, 2 kits.
There's the Idris P or Peacekeeper, and there's the Idris M, which is the military variant. And then there are 2 kits that can go on those 2 ships.
Okay.
Yeah, anything from either of those kits can go on either of the hulls. So you can take an M, take off the railgun, and put the laser on it, and then you have the bigger front turret. You've got the size 5 torpedo turret, and then you have the laser beam, and then you have the extra dual size 4 remote turrets, and you have 11 PDCs. The Idris P comes with a scaled down front turret that's only dual size 5s, and you're missing the 2 remote dual size 4 turrets that are on the top, front, middle, and you're missing 5 PDCs. So you have 6 of them instead of 11. With the kits, you get those 5 PDCs that you can add to your ship. With the torpedo kit, those are torpedo PDCs, or not torpedo, they're missile PDCs. They're not laser repeaters. And then there's size 12 torpedoes. So everybody is kind of like freaking out. It's like, well, what's the javelin going to get? I mean, these are size 12s, and what's the whole point of this? And well, the torpedoes, the size 12 torpedoes have 1,000 hit points and supposedly cannot be taken out easily with the point defense cannons of the Perseus and the Idrises. So they can get through non-concentrated fire. So I guess if you have several turrets and your PDCs focused on those torpedoes, you could take them out. But it makes them much more resistant to it.
I see.
And it gets 20 of those size 12s.
One of the things I was going to mention is that we haven't talked about, or I haven't heard the community talk very much about, is that this is one of our first larger steps toward external modularity. We have not really heard people talk about the fact that this has been introduced now, not just with this ship, but the Scorpius and some other ones as well. We got it when we got the Retaliator with the internal modularity, but now we're starting to see other types of things happen with the ships that it's going to be interesting to see how much that happens, because I was not expecting the Scorpius thing that I saw. That threw me for a loop.
Yeah, that's true.
So it'll be interesting to see where they go with this.
Yeah, for those who haven't seen it, the Scorpius is getting a missile turret to replace the gun turret, which is very exciting. So this is just kind of a cool time lapse. Planet rotating and everything. Sun coming up. And just those
It'd be cool in wallpaper engine.
Star Citizen.
There's your animated desktop.
Nice.
So these are the Idris paints. So there is a 3 paint pack available for Idris owners. This paint only comes with the torpedo kit.
Wow.
So it's black with red accents. So if you buy the torpedo kit for $400, you get the this cool red and black paint. So one paint I don't have. I am annoyed, but I'm not spending $400 for that paint.
How do you guys feel about
not today, but maybe it'll.
How do you guys feel about this thing that CIG is releasing things in packs now? I feel like there's a missed opportunity here.
The paint packs?
For example, I might like that paint, but I'm picking some other thing, but like that thing that came out with the Corsair. Maybe I want the paint, but they forced me to buy the suit and a t-shirt. It's all together. Right. I mean, there's some things I haven't bought because I only want one of the 3 things. I don't want the other 2 things. But if they sold it separately, I might have bought 2 or 3 of those things. So I'm not crazy about the fact that they're combining different. If it's a 3 paint pack, that's fine. Sometimes you get 2 paints you like and one you don't. But the fact that they're mixing different items in these packs, for me, I'm not digging that very much.
Well, there's some new packs. Go ahead, Ari.
I was going to say, isn't that why we all left Xfinity? Because they force you to bundle.
Exactly.
I think that they will go from
telephone that you don't use.
I think ultimately they'll go from Comcast to McDonald's, right? What they'll do over the long term is you'll be able to put together your own Happy Meal, right? They'll have packs that are blank, but there'll be certain types of categories, and you'll be able to plug in one of this, whatever you like. I think that's where they'll end up over the long term.
If they were smart, they will do that. I don't know that they're going to do that because their marketing department is kind of going in the wrong direction with a lot of things that we're seeing, and more of this exclusive bundling. That's like, well, if you want this really, really cool thing, you have to buy all this other stuff as well. Like right now, they've got these really cool armor sets, and you get a paint for the Vanguard. I don't give an F about paints for the Vanguard. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I have Vanguard loaners. I don't really care about them. I really want those armors. They look awesome.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Mm.
bolt rifles with the matching paint. They look awesome, but it's $30 freaking, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
care about the Vanguard paint. And
Right.
that paint,
But they were already doing that. They were already doing that with the Gray Cat
that
armor
pisses me off.
that came with the
Yeah,
rock
but
stuff.
yeah, that's true. They were, and I didn't buy it then too. I hate to say it. To Joe Run's point, if that armor is really what I want, give me 3 variations on that armor. I'll give you your $30. But don't give me a ship paint, armor, and maybe even a gun that I got SMG that I don't care about. I'd rather stack the same type of things if you're going to do packages, or just sell them individually. That's for me.
I think you all are right, but I was just going to say, I think y'all are right, but I think that there is this marketing period in the run up to and around launch of 1.0, Squadron 42, and then there is the long tail, right?
Yeah.
And I think in the long tail, you're going to see all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they want that money now, though. So I'm saying, if y'all want my money now, break them packs up.
we do not know what the future holds, and CIG is notorious for changing their minds. Just like releasing the Idris right now, when they said that it just 7 months ago at CitizenCon, it's not coming for 2 years until Squadron 42 releases, and we're releasing all 3 ships with Squadron 42. It's like, oh well, we're just going to go ahead and give it to you right now. It's like, we're all super thrilled with that because we've been pissed off they've been holding it for so long. And this is just another example of why the community was so torn on this. Is that so many people, so it's like, no, CIG is not going to go back on their word. They've been holding for Squadron 42. They're going to keep holding for Squadron 42. That's like, but those people forget the F7A was never going to be sold again. And I feel so bad for people that bought those rare F7As on the gray market, and they spent hundreds of dollars more for the upgrade kit on those, or like ridiculous amounts of money for those. And then the F8C was never going to be sold for cash or before Squadron 42, and that was sold in basically unlimited numbers. So CIG has been changing the bargain for quite some time now. So don't hold your breath on anything that has been said in the past. We also have
I'm going to push back a tiny bit on that, just really quick. In that, we did a show that really went back and looked at every single thing that CIG has said about on tape about the F8, and it was clear, looking back at that they were waffling then, right? And all the way throughout. They were never as certain as the community ended up feeling about that sentiment. At every point, they gave a little comment that said, well, we could change this, but we're thinking right now
about
that,
it, or it keeps coming up.
We've talked about this, right? Or it keeps coming up. And they kept saying that actually this was churning a lot more in CIG than we imagined. Same thing here with the Idris. The most recent Idris video that came out today made it clear that whatever the Squadron 42 version of this ship has become such an elevated concept from what they've given us now, that they believe that there's still going to be value in the experience you have in Squadron 42 that differentiates it enough that allows whatever group that wanted to get it out now to have purchase within CIG and get it out now. I get it that it still feels like they said one thing, they're doing another, but it does seem that there's a little bit of nuance in both of those positions. So,
and there is, and looking at the entire scope of the 13 years that we've been on this journey, everything has changed in one way or another, from the expanding scope to what they envisioned the universe was going to be to this, that, and the other. So I don't really have any issues with things changing as long as the big picture stays the same. Holding on to anything is like, this is not going to change. You're going to be wrong. If you ever hold on to something like CIG is not going to change something, like, well, you are totally off base, because they have been changing things, and not in a nefarious way. It's just things change, circumstances change. They thought Squadron 42 was going to release in 2014 and 2016 and 2018, 2020. It's like every 2 years.
I want to say this too about the Idris Joe run. You know,
Mhm.
not to be funny, but the community has also demanded the release of ships when they're ready. And this ship
Oh, yeah.
has been ready. You know what I mean? And so, to a certain
Yep.
degree, with their new commitment as the beginning of this year of trying to not only fix the game and make it more playable, but to also start delivering things to us. You know, is it worth just saying we're just going to hold on to this for the sake of it? But they've been stealing these things, flying them around. We've been walking through it. We've been shooting through it. When this thing came in for Invictus, and we saw that most of the functionality, I'm not talking about all of the functionality, but a lot of the general functionality was in the ship all of a sudden. They were no longer blocking off areas that we couldn't get access to. I was like, okay, this thing is ready. They may drop it, you know, and lo and behold, it's here. You know, so I'm not mad at them for bringing it out sooner. If you guys remember
great.
in the Squadron 42 trailer, do you guys remember they showed a different F8 in that trailer, the one we saw last year?
Mm-hmm.
It was an F8 with double engines that was in the back.
Yep. And it's a different Idris too.
Yep,
exactly.
So, like you said, we don't know what they're going to give us later on, you know. So I think that it's going to be still worth it, you know, by the time we get to Squadron 42 and 1.0 easily.
And also, they've got to maintain hype, and they've been saying for the longest time. So this was a great meme. The caption with this was "Star Citizen right now."
Yes,
That's so true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw this. I saw this. This is hilarious.
Yeah. Let me throw one more thing in, Joran, to your point with this picture. It's also important that we start putting these ships in the game for the sake of performance too.
Yes,
you know, we can't wait till it's like just before 1.0 and all of a sudden the Idris comes into the universe. It's got to come in now so that when these people start loading these ships up and getting things active in combat, they've got to get that whole thing toward, you know, the server meshing, the dynamic server meshing and stuff working. So no better time to get it in now, and let's start working through that process too, so that, you know, the game has good performance, whether there's one Idris or 20 Idrises in an area, you know.
And the fact that they're testing up to 600 people in a server, you can have multiple fleets full of capital ships. I mean, a large org could really field 300 people fairly easily and have multiple Idrises, Polarises, Hammerheads, fighters, I mean, all these ships, and go up against another org with 300 people with a massive fleet. And I think orgs are probably talking about that right now. We've got our Idrises, we've got our Polarises, and let's put some big events together and just do all this crazy stuff. Except they really have to get the launcher working, because when we had Daymar Rally, if you had 150 people in your launcher, it was non-functional. So that's something they need to be working on. But they could fix that next week. Like if they decide to put the devs on it, and it's like, okay, well, this is a blocker for having these big things in, and now we've got this stuff going on, and I'm sure all the big streamers and Daymar Rally have been talking with CIG about that ever since the event. It's like, look, we want to have some big org events. I mean, Test has 20-something thousand people. I saw Montoya's video yesterday where he was talking like, oh, the Idris is coming out, and it's like we've got like 1,700 Idrises,
3,500,
something like that, 3,500. Like they got thousands of Idrises. It's
ridiculous.
Like, I mean, my jump club probably has, I don't know, like hundreds and hundreds of Idrises.
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking is that like. I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking that like how whenever a new ship comes out, there's always bugs that go with it. Like every ship has this, whatever bugs it is. We haven't seen that with the Idris yet, but I was just thinking like, imagine if they did release Squadron 42 with the Idris and it didn't go through our regiment of bug testing. Like it would be shipped with so many bugs. So they're not going to get that anymore. You know, we're going to do that for them.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
Oh, there it is. Nice.
I wish I was here for this, man. This looks great.
It was
It's so funny.
This was so fun.
How much I would pay to see one of those seats fly, one of those seats disconnect. How much I would pay to see just one of those seats disconnect. Wow, there's Joran. That's cool.
Just rake all three of them off on one of the spindles.
Oh, he gets up and walks. Oh my God.
Mr. gets up there and walk around and
Yeah, I'm like, what happened there?
The chairs flew. The chairs are gone. He was
Oh,
holding
where'd
the
the
chair down. They
chairs
were holding
go?
the
Yes,
chair. They were holding the chair down.
so
He just came
so
out.
when we were coming out of the jump point, we had some kind of glitch. So I got really glitched and was out of place. And uh, I don't remember who else was with us. Amira was with us, and she got glitched, and she was off in space, and then I was disconnected from the ship and the fleet,
Mm,
but I couldn't move or do anything or interact. So I was coming through out of the jump point. It was a couple of issues, but it was
yeah,
still just tremendously fun.
that's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah, very cool. Very
Yeah,
cool.
Saturday night shenanigans. Always doing something.
That's fun.
My cursor. Do we want to do another giveaway, T?
Let's do it after the next segment here.
After the guest segment? Sounds good. So, Griffin, Serious Fun, you guys have a big event coming up in Las Vegas here soon, TM?
Yeah, soon TM.
What's going
Very
on?
soon.
Tell us
Well,
about it.
yeah, sure. We are sponsoring myself and not only Serious Fun and myself, but there's a collaboration of Star Citizen community members who have come together to put together an event called Quantum Vegas 2955. And our goal was to try to create an atmosphere similar to those of you who are Eve players. You guys heard of Eve Vegas back in the day. We were looking to do something very similar to that, an annual event that takes place at a certain location each year where we would collaborate and partner with not only other community members, but also members from CIG to come together and put on a presentation. And we talked with CIG and they said, okay, it sounds interesting. And they signed on to assist with us and support us in this, not only them, but many other sponsors, people from the community. And there's a variety of people, as you can see on the screen, that are going to be both moderating, speaking, and doing presentations. There's going to be some Q&As. There's going to be tremendous amounts of giveaways that we're doing. We have a lot of corporate sponsors such as Monster Tech. Who all do we have? Icon City. Help me out there, Sirius. Who all do we have? Thrustmaster.
Thrustmaster, Elgato,
Yeah. I can't
Pigeon
think of who else we got.
Spaceport.
Pigeon Spaceport. There's
Yeah,
somebody else I'm
yeah,
missing. And of course, CIG. But we're going to be having it
yeah.
on Saturday, July the 12th in Las Vegas at a place called Area 15. For those who have not been there before, it is an amazing, amazing entertainment facility that's really for us space geeks. Over 200,000 square feet of entertainment in this facility. They also have a corporate event room that we have rented out. It's an amazing room, 360 degrees, and a whole bunch of very cool things that we're doing there for that day. Starts at 9 a.m. that morning, registration's at 8. It goes all the way until 6 that evening. So it's literally a 10-hour event if you're there for the whole time. And the day before, we are having a Bar Citizen in Las Vegas. We've been working with Bar Citizen International, with Nick at Night and some Chrome Ninja and some other people who have helped put together that event. It will also be held at Area 15. That is free of charge. So if you're in the Las Vegas area or within proximity, you are more than welcome to join us at Area 15 on that Friday on July the 11th. The event, though, on Saturday is an event that we're paying for because we had to rent this facility out, and we have many people who are coming in. Some of the people, Kim Ellis, who is the voice of Ava Huxley in the machinimas that are done by Natronics with EE Studios. DePoets is one of our guest hosts and moderators. Serious Fun is also doing moderation. We have Commander Fran, who's coming from Germany, who's coming over to assist us as well with Beacon Events. Paul Shelley is one of our moderators, as we all know, the Astro Historian. We're also going to have sessions that are done by Starjump Grim, where he's going to be talking about shipyarding and some really cool surprise things that he's going to be showing us there. And then Nate from Natronics is going to be doing a whole series on how to create machinima, which is going to be great. And then, of course, there are the people from CIG. Galactica is going to be there. Tyler Whitkin is going to be there. And also Sean Tracy is going to be there. And we are doing the very first. We're doing the very first. And if you can change the slide for me, T, we're going to be doing a thing called, if you have it available, we're going to be doing what we call our very first annual Quantum Vegas Machinima Awards, where we're going to be recognizing machinima makers. We're going to be giving out recognition awards for people who've produced them from 2016 all the way till 2023. And then we're also going to be giving out an award for the one for this last year. And we want that to be an annual thing, that each year we're going to recognize these people because they've contributed so much to the community. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears, energy, just to encourage us and keep us excited. with what's happening in Star Citizen. There is a QR code there. You can go to that page right now and you can vote. We want the community members to vote. There are links to all of the different machinimas. You can vote there and say, here's the machinima I like. Maybe there's one you've already seen and you say, hey, I already know that one. But there are some very cool machinas that have taken place over the last 8 to 9 years. And we would love to have you guys click on that and vote to support these folks. We're giving them some awards and recognitions and stuff. So that's going to be going on now. That started as of today, in fact, and that will be going through July 1st. So you've got time. If you want to take your time, there's 15 machinimas there. At your leisure, take a look at them. If ones you like, give them a vote. And that's basically it. So, folks, if you have any questions, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you know, the same way that you have highlighted, I think, really quality screenshots during the show, and you all have had a history of doing that. Mm-hmm. I have to give kudos to the machinima voting group that came together to really take a look at the storytelling that happens across the machinima forum and really elevate for your voting some of the best that we've seen across the history of Star Citizen. I mean, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and a machinima might be worth 1,000 pictures. So be sure to check these out, and we'd love to have your vote. But just to see how storytelling takes place across the verses, some of this stuff is just incredible. The production level and the work that people have put in. So really excited to make sure that we share those with you. And on the day, our plan is for you to be able to see the 2024 awards live from Quantum Vegas. So yes, we want you there in Vegas. But even if you can't make it, you could still check out these awards. It's going to be very exciting.
Yep. It's going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So Soul Citizens is going to be live streaming it. Yacht Club, if you guys are up and available, we'd love to have you guys stream it as well, because we want people to be able to vote in that day and once again recognize these great folks in our community who've done some really, really, really cool work. So that's it.
I think that's a great idea. The Machinima Awards. I'm going to be talking more about that on my stream too. I absolutely love this. So
cool.
GG's.
Thank you.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And also just having one place where folks can go and see a curated history of some of the amazing machinima that's been made in Star Citizen. It's just incredible cinematography and storytelling and acting and voice work. It's just been some really beautiful stuff over the years.
Yep. So
let me make sure I'm clear. Yeah, that's right. Go ahead, Griff. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, we're 57 days out, so we want folks to, if you're interested, if you want to go to Las Vegas right now, it's a great time if you want to go, because conventions numbers are down right now. So hotels are trying to give out good deals. So if you want to make a weekend in Vegas out of it, that Friday is the Bar Citizen. Our event is all day that Saturday. We're probably going to get together afterward and Sunday and enjoy the entertainment facilities that are there at Area 15. And then Sunday, we're going to do a brunch Citizen, where a bunch of us are going to get together and we're going to be going to what's it called? The Go-Go. I forgot the name of the place now. We're having breakfast that next day, but we are going to be hash a Go-Go. We're going to be going there the next day, and just folks getting together and have breakfast together on Sunday morning. So it's a full weekend, but of course, Vegas is a place where people can do a whole lot of things. But if you can't go, we are taking support for donations. If you would like to donate toward this event just to support us because you guys can't make it, but you say, hey, here's something I want to give these folks to make them have something really cool for the community. Of course, we're open to that. We appreciate that. But otherwise, just try to tune in, keep up with the information, and share the information with other folks that you think might be interested in. Since we're not going to CitizenCon this year, unfortunately, we were all still looking forward to doing that in October. But this may be an alternative for you to get together with the community and hang out for a weekend. So, yeah.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
And we're super thankful for the opportunity to share that here.
Yes.
You didn't have to let us, but you're letting us, and we appreciate that.
We do. We really do.
You guys have been partner, your family with the Yacht Club for how many years now?
Yeah.
Hanging out for
but it means a lot. It means a lot. Yeah, it means a lot, because the tough part about this is just awareness, right? When you're doing something for the very first time, folks just don't know anything about it. It's not like you've got a video or some pictures to show from the previous year. So the fact that, we have so many great people who are working with us from the community that are supporting us and have gotten behind it. CIG has really been helping us and been in contact with us as well. It's very supportive, and we appreciate that. And we appreciate you guys too, because like I said, we're in our loop now. We're 57 days into countdown for the event. And so we're really excited. We're really pumped up. And we think this, by the way, there's a limited amount of seats for this too, because it's not a huge event. It's only 325, 340 seats, something like that. So, if you're thinking about coming, give great consideration to it. Because that's it. Once the place is sold out for now, that's where we're going to be. So.
That is fantastic. Well,
Thank you.
very excited to see all that come together, and you guys have put a tremendous amount of work into it. So we're glad to be able to help highlight and showcase that, and just have you guys on, especially with so much going on in the community and Invictus, the hype around 4.0 and Pyro, and it's been interesting seeing a lot of streamers talking about how hyped they are and how great it feels right now in Star Citizen development, that the Idris isn't just the Idris coming out for owners of that, but the fact that it's one more major milestone that we've been waiting on for 12, 13 years
Quite a while.
of development, that we were waiting on Pyro since 2019, Pyro 2020. Pyro came out, and that's been 5-6 months now already. Server meshing, we were waiting on that for years and years and years, and server meshing is out. We're seeing tremendous improvements in performance, in stability, in server capacity. Benoit came out with a comment on Reddit. Somebody was asking, well, what's going on with dynamic server meshing? And he's like, we're working hard on it for you. So I'm continuing to make that progress. And like we were talking about earlier, just in the past 5 months, when 4.0 came out, most of us had been talking about server meshing when it first came out. We knew it was going to be a mess. We knew it's like, this is a complete rewriting of the fundamental code of the game, and things were going to be broken. We've been through this for years, and it was very broken. So of course, everybody forgot that we've been saying that. It's like, well, it's going to be bad. It was really, really, really bad. And so it was really bad. So those of us that, we understood, it's like, we're going to take a little break until it gets better, because they're working really, really hard on it. And we've seen that over the past 5 months. And now it feels really, really good. I mean, there's still buggy things and every new patch cycle. And 4.1.1, I think, is a pretty major patch. I mean, it's almost like a 4.1 patch. I mean, there's so much new stuff in it. And they already had a hotfix out today. And they'll probably have another hotfix out in the next week or two, improve the problems that we're having. We've seen so much progress in the project. I mean, this is such an exciting time to be a Star Citizen. Just seeing it really coming together. So, like, despite my bits of salt and concern about certain things, and overall, I mean, it's an amazing time to be a Star Citizen. Still years ahead, but making good progress. T, why don't we run that next giveaway? What are we giving away now?
Good luck, everybody.
Good luck out there. We're giving away something.
Attack cat. Attack cat. What? Rigged.
The funny thing is, if they're not here,
Attack cat's here. Surely Attack cat is here.
Attack cat, are you still here?
They were here earlier.
They were first in chat tonight. So
yeah.
Come on, Attack Cat. Are you here?
When is Attack Cat not here? I can't wait.
They stepped away in the menu.
They went to go make a sandwich. Oh no.
Yeah. Bio break at the wrong time.
Oh, that's so funny.
You can never step away.
There we go.
Attack Cat. There we go.
Congratulations, Attack Cat.
Congrats.
They came sprinting back to the keyboard, hitting it.
I heard my name. What did we give away? I totally missed that.
That was the CSV.
Cat, you still have toilet paper on your shoe, by the way.
The little truck. That little truck is fun.
Nice.
Yes. I really think that it should hold a 4 SCU or an 8 SCU, not just 4 flat, like too high 4 would make it much better. But it's also fairly top heavy. I don't know if you guys have driven those things around. They're pretty fun, but they're very easy to. Their center of balance is very high. So one of those things, not as bad as the Hercules. So we had some great videos coming out on Invictus, and I thought I had an Invictus page. Oh, here's our Invictus video. Right, turn on your sound for Twitch.
Patience. You can get mad at CIG about a lot of stuff, but their marketing is ridiculously good.
It is so good.
It's not passive.
Commercials are why we spend thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Not idle. It's quiet preparation. Sharpened intention. Resolute. To watch and wait.
Nobody wears that helmet.
no,
Yeah,
well, he dressed
I was about to ask questions. Is that an Easter egg showing us why those helmets are going to be
Against
important?
haste.
That you will need to do it
Beyond
in that type
fear.
of scenario because they were in the dark and they were targeting.
Because
So I'm really curious if that's
trust.
why that helmet was used.
From that quiet,
I was watching this video and I was like, "There's no way the Idris
your
is gonna
moment
release.
will come.
0 chance of release."
Even after watching it, oh my god.
Yes, I'm like, "No way this is gonna release."
You were one of those last holdouts that
I
didn't
really
wanna believe.
was. I really
That's
was.
funny. That's funny.
I thought you were joking when you said that yesterday.
No,
It's
I
like,
was
oh
so
my
serious.
God, you don't really believe it.
I was stressing out so much, and everyone was yelling at me in chat, and I'm like, "No, it's not gonna happen."
Oh,
I like the shot where it hit the one ship, the first beam shot. It hit the one ship and then went through
cut the
that ship to
Connie
the next
and with
ship.
that
Yeah.
was pretty darn cool.
That was incredible.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, it needs a little polishing and some bug fixing and whatnot, but it is so cool. And it, if you notice, that was the Idris M with the K kit laser on it because they had the torpedo room, which only the M has. It's a good combination for Praetorian and wing combat. So a little trivia on the Idris M history. It was the rarest ship that CIG ever sold because there were only 100 of them in the original sale. Decommissioned military Idrises at the very first, right after the Kickstarter, 2013 or something like that. I know we have a few people who bought it back then for $1,000. Skipper Steve, my good barbecue buddy who moved to Alaska, he's been talking about his Idris as long as I've known him and dreaming about it and can't believe it's finally here today. And then they never sold it standalone again, and it was only available in the Wing Commander pack for $10,000. It was the original Completionist pack for $10,000, which became the Wing Commander pack for $10,000, which they discontinued, I think, around 2019 was when they discontinued that. It was because Hartswell, the head of concierge before he left, created the Praetorian pack because there was so much pressure that there was nothing between the $10,000 pack and the $25,000 Legatus pack at the time. And so he created the $15,000 pack, and they discontinued the one, moved the Idris M into that. So now you can get the Idris M in the $15,000 Praetorian pack or the $25,000. No, I take that back. You become Legatus at $25,000, but the current Legatus package is $48,000.
Yeah. That's great.
which is just seemingly insane. But the fact that we have like 240 spaceships valued anywhere from $20 to $2,500, and every single ship ever released, every extra, every add-on, every piece of armor, everything in there is included in that. For those who think that that's just crazy at $15,000 or $25,000, people who've been spending a few $100s every so often, per year, they spend $1,000 a year, and they've been here for 10 years, or they're spending $15,000 or they're spending $1,500 a year, and that's $150 a month. I mean, that's not that bad, really, compared to, going out to eat $75 pretty easily these days. So it's a lot of people that have spent money over time, and then it's like, oh, I really want to get all this stuff that's in this package, and I'm going to melt everything else and get this package, and then do all that sort of thing. So it's not like people are writing a check for $15,000 or writing a check for $48,000. It adds up over time, as we know. It's not totally crazy for people who aren't familiar with it, the process. This video is really great insight into talking about the variations of the M, the P, the K, and the T, which we touched on earlier, that there's the two holes, the Idris K, it's really the Idris P upgrade kit. It was never actually the Idris K kit labeled. I'm still not sure where that came from. But so that is just the package of components and a paint. And the new torpedo kit is a package of components and paint. So you can mix and match any of those on your Idris Ps. And the Idris M has been said that it will be upgradable in-game in the future at either an Aegis shipyard, or, as we know now, the player space stations, which will be shipyards to be able to craft your Idrises and Javelins. If you have a big enough org that can grind the blueprints to create all the components that go into the ships and create the ships and all the different stuff, and be able to create that railgun. Tremendous amount of blueprint grinding and resource gathering to build the space stations, to build the ships and all that. I think orgs are going to be turning out Idris M's by the dozens. Kind of like in Eve, where people said that, when the CCP introduced the Titans, there were only going to be a handful of Titans, and now there's thousands of Titans. It's like they're too big, they take too much effort. And it's like, well, again, they underestimated how much large groups of gamers can just overwhelm any planned game economy. We got the behind the Idris, and then we've got a Reddit post here. This was a really pretty funny one. Any other thoughts on the K, the T, the P, the M's? What we've been talking about it all show, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be the segment, but it's been the
happens.
Idris show all day. This is hilarious.
Oh, this is great. I love
Hilarious.
Reddit. I love Reddit. I love Reddit.
There are some
I
super
take
weird people out there.
this comment personally. I also didn't know that Mark and Jared from the Idris video were my enemies in terms of their F the Polaris.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, but
Now you know.
no, I'm very pleased.
Now you
It is
know.
Idris Day. It is Idris Day, and I think, Jordan, you put it perfectly. It's the birthday of the Idris, and I think we've got to be excited for folks like Steve who have been around so long, waiting for this to happen. I'm just pleased for Skipper Steve and everyone else out there who has just waited, and it's finally here, right? It's
And those people invested thousands of dollars so many years ago. I mean, into a Kickstarter, and there wasn't anything. There wasn't a hangar module back then. I mean, they spent thousands of dollars believing in Chris Roberts and Ben
exactly.
Lesnick and Sandy and all the people, that they had this dream that they're going to build the most incredible space simulation, universe simulation that had ever been imagined. and they put money into it. And he's not here today, but our good friend Ed, those of you who know Ed, he was one of those original Million Mile High Wing Commander backers at the Kickstarter, and he put in $10,000 at the Kickstarter. That's what the original Million Mile High Club reward was for, and they believed, and it's like at various times people are doing better and they have spare money, and they believed in this, and they believed in the dream. And if it hadn't been for those people that early on, they wouldn't have been able to build the momentum to get to where they are now. It's an $800 million, 1,100 person company. And $800 million is over 13 years. So they're making $120 million a year. Oh, I didn't even put on the financials onto today's topics. Did y'all see that the financials finally came out for 2023?
Oh yeah, we've seen them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Off
Yep.
topic. Already talked about that. But we're doing.
Yeah, I've
we're
been
doing well.
downvoted on Reddit today, but I just wanted to remind people that on average, that 800 million is about 61 million a year. Although we know that it's not averaged, right? That different years had.
It was very much about a 20% increase per year over year, 20% increase in cost.
And if you take that 61 million and you divide it by 1,000 employees, which they didn't have the whole time either, that's about $61,000 per employee. So this,
Jesus.
and that's to make two games, right? So this is not an outrageous number.
That seems pretty budget, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It seems pretty reasonable. So
very reasonable budget for an annually, considering most AAA games are out there and bring in billions of dollars a year.
I know we mentioned earlier that we don't know. None of us know what will happen in Squadron 42, but many of it, maybe all of us, are in some kind of IT job, or especially software development job. And I guess what I took away from today is it seems like a positive milestone that Squadron 42 is either on track or there's the scope is not creeping. They didn't hold this to Squadron 42. So it just seems like, yeah, we've got it done. Let's give it to you now, because we have even more stuff coming. So I guess I just looked at this as a positive that Squadron 42 in theory is still on track to be released on the schedule that they're planning for, which that's good.
Sometime next year. However, it best not be around May of next year when GTA is tentatively coming out. They better give it. I hope the GTA comes out in May so that they have 6 months until CitizenCon, and then they can just say, okay, we're going to come out at CitizenCon and then come out after GTA 6 has been out for 6 months, because I saw the trailer. I don't play GTA, but holy shit, that thing looks good.
Yeah.
The trailer looks amazing.
It looks really freaking good. Citizen Kiroi says, I left Eve for Star Citizen thinking I'd be too late in 2015. Yeah, I think a lot of us were coming in back then and thinking it's not. I didn't think there was anything more than just some spaceships flying around. I had no clue.
I left Eve in 2012, 2013. I'd been in Eve for almost 8 years, and I came over around that time. So I've been here 12 years now, and I'm fine with it.
Players do we have?
Yeah, I came. I put about 4,000 hours into Elite Dangerous.
Yeah, that too.
I came over December 27th of 2013, and I haven't looked back. Just to be clear, Elite is firmly in my rearview mirror.
I came from World War II online, so I came from flying, dogfighting in World War II planes to Star Citizen.
Oh, it should feel right at home for you.
Oh yeah.
I hate masterminds. I had to throw that in there.
Is that a hot topic for today? Sorry.
No, but you
Just
do have some
stuck
hot topics that
No,
you do want to cover. You better get to your hot topics because you know that's going to be a conversation.
Yeah.
we're not going to we're not going to touch on master modes again today. Like it's, we did it many times. The Great K MTC. What do y'all think about this? It's a mini Ursa. Everybody buy one? Didn't buy one? Didn't see why we needed something smaller than an Ursa that's basically the same footprint, width, and height?
I love that
I
there's an
rented one.
A-Team reference.
Yeah, my discernment was trying to find out what it was about, and once we saw a little bit more detail on it, I actually do think it has a place in the verse. Some people may think it's repetitive, but there's some features that they haven't introduced into the game yet where a vehicle like this may be helpful, and mostly it's environmental. The fact that you can do the environmental suits in this thing, if inventory changes the way they want, you cannot change in the Ursa. If you land on a planet for some reason or you have to drop off, I mean, maybe if it's on your ship, you can load up in it and whatnot. And for two people covertly moving around versus the Ursa,
As far as having like an armor storage rack or something.
there are, like, if you want to put on a Nabokov or something like the really big bulky suits, this thing holds those. I'm curious to see later on when inventories continue to get contoured more, how much you're going to be able to put into lockers and closets. Right now we have a general internal that everybody throws stuff into, but I don't know if that's going to be the way it is later.
You can put multiple Novikovs into a 1 or 2 SCU crate and put that in the Ursa, in the Ursa, the regular.
Yeah, but do you really want to do all that when you can just put it in the vehicle and it's in there all the time? I mean, do you really want to lug that box around to take up space? I mean, that's what we do now in order to accommodate it because we haven't had the storage, right?
Well, honestly, from the if inventory somehow gets less cumbersome, and I have been a believer in wanting immersion of physicalization of everything, but in taking things out of inventory, putting it into a box, taking it into your vehicle or ship, taking it out of that box and putting it into your ship inventory, and then taking it out of that and putting it on. There's multiple extra steps where, like, I do a lot of group events. I do a lot of events where I have to load up a lot of gear for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I put it into a box. I put it where everyone can access it. And that is your portable closet. And everybody goes to the box. You can take out, okay, I'm going to switch out armor. I'm going to switch out weapons, backpacks, everything's in there. I got metapins, multi-tools, like weapons, armor, ammo, everything's in the box. I've got a couple of boxes. On the big events where we've had like 30, 40 people, I all have a box of just armor sets where everybody's got the same armor and weapons and ammo.
Joe, run at home. Do you put all your clothes in a box at home and take your stuff out of the box at home and move your box back and forth? You don't do that, right? Yeah. And that's why I said if the context of inventory changes. Yeah, but my point is, and I'm only basing this around if inventory moves to where they talked about, where closets and things like that actually become much more realistic. We do the box now because that's what we have. But later on, you can't put a 1 SU box in the back of a Ursa. You can't. And not have 6 people in there.
Yeah, you can.
It's not. And have 6 people walking around in that thing.
Hold on. Well, you're not going to put 6 people in this thing, and this thing does not hold 6 people.
That's why it has closets. Exactly. That's why it has closets. That's my point.
But then you could take a Centurion where you can take 6 people plus some stuff. And Advice has a great point that in the future you'll be able to store loadouts with your armor lockers and be able to swap out. So and that is a good point where you can't do that in a box, but if you have it in an armor locker, okay, well, this is what you put in there.
Agree.
There's a lot of things that we don't know about how the future is going to work, and they are already saying that inventory UI is being reworked again. We know it needs to get reworked. So the physicalization of items in Star Citizen, I don't really play that many other games. I like Tarkov is a super physicalized type of thing as far as a lot of things. There's not that many others to this level, and also where you have to plan for a long journey. Like if you're taking a trip to Europe, okay, what am I taking? I've got to take all of my toiletries, and I've got to take my electrical adapters. I've got to take all this stuff, and if you don't take it, like, well, and all the different changes of clothing, and it's like, well, am I going to go swimming? Am I going to do this? Like, Sergeant Grim, hey, how's it going, man? We got a bunch of raiders. How many raiders are there? We got a bunch of people coming in.
Thanks for the raid. Thank you,
Good to have
Grim.
you on In 2 weeks, Graham, I need to have you on to talk about all the cool ships. He's our ship guy. But so yeah, and this is probably the most in-depth inventory planning game that has ever
Yeah.
existed, where you've got to load up your ships with everything that you're going to take and operate out of those ships for every kind of environment or activity that you're going to be doing, living out of your Idris or your Carrack or
But
your
Joe Run, let me throw something at you though. You noticed in the commercial for this, there was nothing with this going through a ship. It was all ground gameplay. So later on, when people are doing bases, but hear what I'm saying. Later on, when bases and people living on planetary areas where people don't go into space, having these type of things in these vehicles will mean something. That commercial did not have one time where this ship rolled off the back of any ship. It was all ground based. And I'm saying later on, vehicles, those things that we don't do now. And I get what you're saying. I agree with you 100% where the game is now. But I think later on, these things are going to become way more valuable. That right now it doesn't make it. It doesn't hurt us. But later on, I think ground gameplay is going to be way bigger because I know people who will literally park on a planet and they will not go into space. That's what they want to do. They want to live on a planet. You know what I'm saying?
I've heard from people like that.
Joran, you showed a meme earlier that I think is instructive right now about this great cat, which is, buy ships for the vibes, buy ships for how they look, how they make you feel, not for the stats, right? And this is a moment where you get to rent it. That's what I did, is I rented it because, if the sound of how a ship accelerate or a vehicle accelerates or the sounds of how it sounds when it's driving, if it doesn't sound right to me, I sometimes can't get beyond that, right? So the first thing I have to do is just get in it, right? And I love getting in stuff for free. I haven't gotten in it yet. I've got 2 days of rental, but I rented it today so that I can get in it. And that'll probably happen tomorrow. But like that for me is like the first step. And so I recommend to everybody, just go over to the Bevic Convention Center and rent it and then see how it feels first,
Well, I think we've all wanted an enclosed cyclone that drives more like a cyclone, because the Ursa, the Nursa, the Lynx, and that they're a little chunky heavy. We wanted something that drives a little bit more like a cyclone. I mean, this kind of looks like it should. I really wanted to feel what its handling is, because the cyclone is open. They really nerfed the performance of it over the years, where we used to like really have a lot of great shenanigans and driving up mountains and jumping off them and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But Ari, if you scroll down to the paints, the thing that really stood out to me and many people about this vehicle was one particular paint. As silly as that sounds, so it's basically because it's the same. It's the same width as an Ursa. It's the same height as an Ursa. It's just a little shorter. So it's not going to fit in any vehicles that an Ursa doesn't fit into. There it is.
Yes, the
Baracus.
I ain't getting no MTC Hempler.
I bought it as soon as I saw it. I bought it instantly. It's like $45. What the fuck?
Same here.
I gotta own this.
I thought this whole thing was stupid until I saw this paint. But you gotta imagine it with the gun off of it. The gun ruins this vehicle. Take that off.
It's the gun on a rail, like on the Nursa, so they can see it as just the A-Team van. And then somebody said, it's like, wait, this is too premature. We need to have chain link fence tech, where you can drive through a chain link fence.
Yeah, we need a mission to break people out of the insane asylum. We need to go break out Murdoch. So.
Yes, got to break out Murdoch.
Yeah, there should be free usable cigars inside the car.
Yes, we need cigars. Yeah, as soon as I saw that, like, sold instantly. Like,
is this a 2-seater? Like in the front, is it a 2-seater?
No, it's a single seat front, and this is a rear seat and a rear seat flip seat.
Is there one or two in the back? Just one.
It's for two people. It's intended for two people.
Yeah, and they have to name it Baracus. Like, I love CIG's sense of humor. We can all complain about their questionable monetization of things and like communication issues, but they have some great senses of humor. They are serious nerds, just like us, and old nerds. I mean, how many young nerds know who the hell A-Team was, the original A-Team.
Well, they know their audience, don't they? And they know how to sell spaceships.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's like, this looks like a van. Oh, what if we make
Or
this
whatever.
like A-Team?
Sorry.
Let's do an A-Team paint. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, we're going to sell the shit out of this. Like, yep.
Yeah.
Did not think twice about that. Like,
I wish they would
not gonna
I wish they would have more Invictus skins, though. You know, the blue and the gold. Like, this would be wonderful in blue and gold,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I was really kind of disappointed they didn't have more. So we saw the laser before. This is just some more shots of that great laser. Space battleship Yamato.
Well,
So
Sigillian, to your point, is like, how do you figure out what the strategy is around why some things get Invictus paint, why some? I still don't understand what the thinking is yet. To your point, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
you think everything
What
that
do you
they've
think
used in
about the
Invictus ought to have one.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the shark?
That's beautiful.
Is this sharks with giant space lasers on their heads?
That's exactly what it is. Oh my god! Oh no! How did nobody mention
And
this
laser
then?
beams.
You didn't realize it was a giant
Didn't.
shark with a giant space
Didn't.
laser beam on its head?
And man, I love Austin Powers so much. Shame. How come nobody mentioned this to me in chat today? God.
They didn't get it. Oh my! This is my favorite paint. Everybody needs that paint if you own an Idris. If you have a sense of humor. Ah, yes. I'm so glad that we got two really fun paints between the A-Team van and the sharks with space lasers. It's just too good.
Well, after you said that, you got to call it a frickin' laser. You know that.
It is a frickin' laser.
Yeah.
Frickin' space lasers. Exactly.
You do wonder if the younger devs that do some of this work at CIG they don't get it and they're just told, just do it like this. We know. Just trust us. Just
I would imagine that Disco goes around with a list, like you all have to watch this movie before working at this
Right.
company. You know, Austin Powers, I'm
I
sure, is
wanna-
on that list.
I want to ask Jared. It's like I don't know that it was Jared, but when you mention that the A-Team van paint feels so Jared. I can just
Totally.
imagine he was walking around and he saw it, was like, that looks like a van. You should do an A-Team paint. There's a lot of old nerds there, but just knowing Jared's sense of humor and his affinity for Hollywood, oh god, I want to ask Jared if that was him. I'm gonna have to tweet that at him. Tomorrow's project.
Yeah.
Tweet Jared. Like, Jared, was this you? 'Cause I love you, man. I love you. So moving on to more controversial topics.
More controversy.
More controversy. We've had all the good fun stuff. So flight blades, speed increase your straight line top speed, or maneuverability increase, improve your ship handling. So these are the first two blades. We know that we were going to have computer blades coming at some point, and they were going to have. We had a long list. We touched on this a few weeks ago on all the different potential things that that computer blades were going to do for ships, from handling to shields to anti-missile defenses and all these other things. And so we get our first two computer blades, and they're only for a limited number of ships, but CIG is selling them for cash. What do you all think about that? Discuss.
Controversial.
I'll be right back. I'm making a
Controversial.
cup of tea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'll tell you though, if there's a cargo trading blade that comes out and it costs $15, I'm going to have to buy it. So
that was on the list, but
yeah,
not
it was.
today. Not this
today.
list.
Yeah.
I came in this afternoon, and some friends over in our Discord were talking to me about it, and I had to do a little bit of research, and I was looking. I hadn't seen any of the controversy about it, so I spent some time in Spectrum and Reddit and took a look at what people were saying, and then I, of course, looked at the Q&A and looked at what CIG was saying. To me, I struggle with this one. I feel like, blades are to me a variation of or an accessory to components, and components are not something that we've been charging money for. I mean, years ago we did, but we don't do that anymore. I think that there was a problem with communication. CIG didn't. There was word about AI blades, but I don't think it's ever come up that this would be something that would be monetized. Also, I think that even though there is the 90 days, their Q&A to say after 90 days you can get it in game, and that's fine. But I also think that this has been something that's been around a long time, and I just thought it would be more of a feature that would be introduced, and it would be like, okay, you got to buy these in the game. They're going to get destroyed, so people are going to, have to buy more of them. It's not like you're going to buy it once and it's over with, unless you spend money. I did think the pricing was a bit high, especially like I'll just use the Scorpius because that's the only one that has anything to do with me. $30 for that missile thing is just way too much money to me.
$30.
It's way too freaking much. The even for the rails that they've got for the bombers, it's $17, $20. If they had done them for $5, people would have bought $25 worth of them. But at $20 for each crack, that's $100 in spending. Not to mention for some of these, the blades are a decent percentage of what the ship cost is. So to me, those should have been things that just should have been complementary to the game. A new feature. I think CIG made great steps forward this year with the community, and the community was just starting to bend and say, hey, maybe they are doing some good stuff. But then I'm going to say marketing, whoever chose to do this with these fees and not communicate it ahead of time was not a good thing.
Do you want to pull up the Reddit? Do you want to pull up that Reddit?
So that's my thoughts on that. The blades and what do they call them? The mods. What do they call them?
Bomb rack, weapon.
Yeah, those things. Yeah,
and whatnot.
Yeah.
So this has 4,000 upvotes. I don't think I've ever seen a Star Citizen post get 4,000 upvotes in like 11 hours. This is the most unhinged monetization pivot I've ever seen. Every last thing in the game is going to be paywalled if this is the direction. I agree with that. But it's interesting that Dolvac, if you scroll down just a little bit, he's one of the Reddit mods. The mods have elected to pin this thread as a disclosure for new players and what they are getting themselves into. I think that is important. That CIG is moving in the direction of monetizing some things that really probably should not be monetized. These things should be in game. Plus also, for those older backers, CIG used to have the electronic access store where they sold weapons and components. And for those who remember, the torpedoes were $90 to torpedoes for the Retaliator.
Retaliator.
So that was $45 cash 10 years ago for a size 9 torpedo. So we know that I knew the torpedoes are going to be crazy, but CIG stopped selling weapons and components on there. They discontinued the electronic access store. They had components with the 300 series, customization and weapons. You could choose your kits. And that seemed like a cool idea at the time because they were brand new. It's like, oh, we've got components. And then we have seen since then components rebalanced and changed so that like they're all over the place. And like you buy something and it's like, this might be great here. And then like the next patch, like it's completely worthless. And Mystic, my best friend in here, she spent money on a component that was completely worthless afterwards. And like, well, why did I spend an extra $5 or whatever it was for something thinking that this was going to be a high performing component? And now I'm stuck because like this was limited time paint. Like I feel I was screwed over by being sold this, saying that it was going to be something for cash. And we all know in-game balance is going to change. Going back to our earlier discussion about ships, don't buy ships for the stats, buy them for the looks. But when you're buying computer blades or components or weapons and things like that, weapon upgrades. All right, well, let's not get into the Idris K kit that I spent $250 on yesterday.
I think I've been downvoted comprehensively on Reddit about this, but
Let's pull up the next post, Ari.
yeah, on its
Keep
face,
going.
on its face, because it'll be available in game, I have less of a problem with it. I do think that the pace of these things. So when you're thinking about what is your actual experience of pay to win as a result of this? Well, it depends on the release schedule ultimately of CIG in an ongoing sense, right? So let's say, for example, that they do this 3 months later, everybody can get them in game, and then everybody can play with everything that's available, whether you bought it 3 months ahead of other people for 2 years or 3 years before they make another change. That's pretty flat, and it's not really pay to win at that point, right? But if the release schedule ends up being something like they drop this on the store for to buy, and then 3 months later you can get it in game, but 4 months, a month after that, they drop something else on the store that gives an advantage, and you have to wait 3 months to get that. And then, when that times out, there's something else that drops on the store. If it ends up being tantamount to pay to win, I would have a big problem with that. If it ends up being far more flat and longer term, then I don't have a problem with it, because the game needs to make money, right? And it needs to continue to have and test a variety of long-term ways in which to do that. A lot of people go, listen, just do cosmetics and you'll make enough. I have no idea whether that's true or not, right? I'm not the marketers that are out there testing that truth, right? So
I've got a couple of things to say on this.
Yeah, go ahead.
When you got, so when it comes to, like, I play Rocket League, and when Epic bought Rocket League from Steam or whatever that deal was, Epic's one of those companies that, like, over monetizes the hell out of everything, and, like, simple things that you can upgrade your car with were suddenly monetized like crazy, and that's one example of the wrong way to go, where everything just feels ruined, and they even changed the way those things were given out randomly. And so when it comes to what they're doing here, I feel like this is going to seem like the opposite viewpoint. Like, we just don't want it to get to what Epic does with its games. But what CIG is doing here, when I think of it, I try to think of it kind of like armor sets and guns, things you can buy right now that you'll always have one of immediately, like, and always at your disposal. Yeah. Whereas in the game, there's ways to earn it, there's ways to come by it, there are ways to still get it,
but you lose it.
But you can lose it. Yeah. Maybe that's not as big a deal, but I mean, obviously, anything that's gonna give one person an advantage because they're able to pay $40 extra or something, that's where things, I understand people getting upset about it. So
I agree with you, Ariana, from that perspective. I think the other thing too is that the whole AI Blade thing has been such a hyped topic for so long.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And the fact that now it's delivered, it feels like, there's in this, in theory, to what you said, Ariana, is not any different, right? It feels dirty, right? But Ariana said that anything that we buy right now, we know 90 days from now, and some people buy things because they just always want to have access to it. They don't want to have to go out and earn it later on. So this falls into that category. But there's been just such hype over the years about AI blades. Even when they told the folks that it's not what you guys think it is, it's going to be about flight, people were still geeked about getting these things and finally having some type of something that actually works in my ship that I could plug in and make this and start to improve my ship based upon what they heard in CitizenCon. And again, the topic of monetization with these items, which are basically component items, never came up. And I think that's what's messed with people's heads. If they had said this a while back, that, we're going to put these out, they're going to be in the store for a little while, it might have softened the blow a little bit. But the fact that it hit the way it did, I think is really why it's kind of messing with people's psyche now.
I think it's so funny how server blades were such a topic for so many years, and we're always like, stop talking about server blades. They're not going to come anytime soon. And now they're here and everyone's in an uproar about it. And I'm like, okay, maybe they shouldn't have released them, I guess.
It should have been an
Captain
in-game
Serious Fun
feedback.
is right, though. I mean, like, imagine it's like 3 days before the Crux Cup or 3 days before Daymar Rally, and all of a sudden, like,
wow.
bam! Here's a speed module, and
Yeah,
everybody be
Oh
like,
my gosh.
"Whoa, no, this is not good."
Right.
that would make people angry for sure.
Yeah,
Don't mess with the Daymar Rally people. They take things seriously.
yeah.
As
It'll
they
be
do.
interesting to see.
Yeah.
Here's another thing too. You know, community. I'm not saying have a protest, but I'm saying you also have the right to vote with your voice and your dollars. You know,
And you should.
that's the
Yeah.
other thing that you can do. You know,
I
it's
hope
not that
nobody
CIG is not
buys
a perfect
votes.
company. Yeah, CIG is not a perfect company. There are some times where they're going to make a business decision that is a faux pas. And you remember Joran? Remember CitizenCon? Let's pay to watch CitizenCon. Remember that?
Yeah.
Well, the community pushed back, and CIG was like, "Well, maybe we'll change that." And so, you know,
maybe that wasn't a
you
good
have a
idea.
voice. Yeah, you have a voice in the community. Don't stress yourself out over it. My God, I know it's frustrating because we've been waiting on this stuff for so long. But there's certain things I just didn't buy. I didn't buy the Atlas out of principle. And that principle, I thought it was overpriced. I said, if the Atlas does other stuff, if it's like the multi-tool where I can change the arms, okay, it's worth $40. But if it's all it does is that one thing, you should have sold me 3 of those suckers for $40. And I still haven't bought one. And it's just I'd love to have it.
Atlas
I mean,
is one
I
of
got
my
it in the
favorite.
game.
It is one of my favorite
Not for
things.
40, not for $40.
I
That thing costs as much as a
love it.
ship. That thing costs as much. I can almost buy 2
I
Aurora
would-
ESs for
I
the
would-
price of an Atlas.
I wouldn't own an Aurora ES. Like you couldn't pay me to own an Aurora for anything.
My point is that you can't tell me that Walker is the equivalent of a ship. That's what my brain says. I get what you're saying. I'm just saying I couldn't do it. You know.
That's what, but that's why what's
and
fun here in the community. We all have different things that we value. You know, like talking about moving boxes. Like I love moving boxes. Other people hate moving boxes. The Atlas lets me move boxes like a magician. And
There's no bigger
it's
box
worth
mover
$40.
than me, Joe. What I'm telling you, I love the thing.
It's
I just
worth
wouldn't want to pay
$40
$40.
And the other side of that, it is perception,
You
because
know,
the other side of it for me is I look at a $90 Gladius, right? And then I look at the Gladius plus Flight Blades kit that comes with a Gladius, 2 Flight Blades, a paint, 12 years of insurance, or 10 years of insurance for $95. It's $5 more than the Gladius, right? Now it's War Bond, it's
how's
new
that
money.
$5 more when it's $30 for a blade and all this other stuff? Like, what's going
That's
on?
what
So
it
it's like sometimes you just
know.
gotta look around the site, right? And you see different bundles and different deals, right? So
Do your research. Stuica says, I don't mind the pay to win as much as a lazy implementation of server blades as something that should be just engineering. I think that's a really good point where we're supposed to be
that is a
able
good
to
point.
tweak our performance and things like that, and be able to the subcomponents. Like, why don't they come out with subcomponents for components, which they've been talking about for 6 or 7 years, minimum, maybe 7 or 8 years, where all the components have the little subcomponents, and you can buy these subcomponents and then tweak them. And your engineers, and we got that talk, I don't know, 3 years ago on the 3 different types of engineers that do different things. And if you specialize in tweaking your components and getting better performance out of things, from your weapons to your engines, to your shields, and these sorts of things, they'll perform differently. It's like, well, nope, they're going to sell $30 blades.
There was a brief period of time, a few years ago, when you could go to Urkel and the Urkel.games website and outfit your ship in different ways, and then I mean, you can do this now, but when you do that and you make a shopping list and you go and you're anticipating this helping your ship perform differently, that was very fun back when that all mattered, before they then made a lot of the components like static, where they didn't have the different the different performances weren't there, or the stealth didn't matter
flattened
anymore
everything for a while.
until they're, because of all the ship redesigns. But now we're getting back to the point where that's going to matter, and where it already does matter. And instead of just being able to go do that in game, now it's like, Urkel's going to have a little like a little flag on each island.
Qualifier.
Well, if you
Mhm.
can afford to buy this, you can do this to your ship. You know, it's kind of it is a little
Yeah.
weird, and I don't know.
Well, the other thing too
If we-
about the
if we end
blades.
up in a
meeting about
place-
it. Yeah,
Mhm,
sorry.
Go ahead.
Hopefully they're going to be meeting about the reaction, and obviously maybe
Mhm.
they'll make some changes. Who knows?
I mean,
But
4,000 upvotes, they're going to be meeting about that reaction. Trust and believe.
you would think,
You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
If
then-
we end
There's
up
a
in a
question.
place where if we end up in a place where first movers saw it, bought it, and the plan is still to have engineering and tuning, which is the particular feature of engineering that we're talking about,
Mhm, mhm.
still give us what we need, and you can get it in game. And if, let's say, you buy a blade in game and a tuner who's expert at their job ends up tuning it better than you could buy it, right? Then I think we'll properly locate this, right? We'll go, oh, this is for the people that don't have time to do that, right?
I
But
know
for
that
when
we're
you're
still
in
gonna have
game, you
that.
can actually get better. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
I was
just
go-
don't have it yet, right? So people don't feel it yet.
Oh,
That's
I was going to say too,
the
don't
weird
forget these
thing.
blades are flight blades. I understand what they're talking
Yeah.
about engineering, but this is not about engineering. This is about flight performance
Yeah,
right
just
now.
just
And
slightly different flight
right,
performance.
and also they said that these are just the initial ships. They're going to put these out for all ships later. They just picked certain flight styles. This is all about testing still too. So they're gonna have to see where this goes with it once they put everything out as
Which
well.
is why it seems so bad to sell something for $30 when this is the very first test of something that they've never actually tested in game before, but they're going to sell it for $30. And I don't really care about the pay to win very much because
I don't
there's
think
no
it's
pay to win.
Yeah, I don't think it's pay to win.
It's more the principle of selling something that is supposed to perform a certain way when in 6 months it may be completely meaningless and you wasted your money on it, which goes back to my friend who bought her commander, which I also did the same thing on my 350R and my 325. I bought the customized 300 kits, and I paid for certain components and weapons, and they were worthless a few months later. Mr. Zickel, or I think it's Mr. Zicky, says, no question, but does anyone know if you can upgrade a ship to an Idris plus store credit, or is it only just store credit? You cannot CCU to any limited hull ships. So the Pioneer, the 890, the Phoenix, anything over $1,000, the Idris, the Kraken, the Javelin, you cannot CCU to those. You can either just pay all new money or all store credit. Store credit ships are going super, super fast, like in 2 seconds or less. There will be 4 more waves of Idris's sold, though. That's posted in the Yacht Club. It's pinned in the Yacht Club multi-server chat if you want to see what the waves are. It's posted on Spectrum. So you will have multiple chances to buy your Idris with credit or war bond. They're selling a lot of war bonds. So if you want to rack up a credit card, I don't encourage that. You'll have more chances than if you are trying to do store credit, because there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people that have lots of store credit that are desperate to get an Idris right now. And it is a bloodbath. I watch it in
The
Concierge.
bloodbath.
It is a bloodbath. And you have to be able to check out in less than 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It is literally like watching an Olympic sport, and like people train for this. They literally train for this. They go through the steps and it's like and make sure they get this down as fast as possible. And we have some of the most experienced, like elite level athletes in the jump club that like they literally do this for a sport, and every single time. And it's
The kicker, Joe Run, is that it wasn't just the Idris. The javelins, everything sold out in 4 minutes. Even the javelins, it's
or seconds.
unreal.
It was
yeah. I mean, but the javelins went. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like $3,000.
Here's the question. Here's the question, Jordan.
Your first one is yes.
Would you pay $30 for a flight blade that would revert master modes?
Ah!
Oh God, yeah. I wouldn't even think twice about it. I'd pay $100 bucks. I have that to go back to 2.6.3 flight model. I'd pay $100. I might pay more.
That's good.
Make
That's
it
good,
60.
Nicer. That's good.
If there was a
Nice, you're
blade
cutting
that had
to the important.
If there was a blade that added 200 meters per second to my caterpillar speed, I would totally buy it.
So that
It's
kind of
true,
covers all of our main topics there.
Yeah.
Go
Get you.
ahead, Ari.
Oh, I was just gonna say that the only one of these first two, that's really pay to win is the maneuverability one, I would say. But the improving your speed, that's like paying to run away.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
basically.
true. Good
I mean,
point.
But
PvPers would
they were
say
saying,
they would say that still matters, right?
Well, true. Yeah.
Okay.
oh, it
Yeah. If
absolutely matters
you're
in
breaking
PvP.
Breaking
engagement
engagement
to
to
then come
recover
back and
shields,
yeah,
right?
Mhm.
that's
Yeah,
true.
everything matters in PvP. I mean, they are super, super competitive, and that
That is
and
true.
in that realm, that's pay to win. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean,
Professional gaming.
in in that realm, you are paying to win. You're buying an advantage for cash. Like, I don't PvP, but yeah. So there's a lot of different negative aspects to that. Do we have any questions? We forgot to post questions in there. We do have 4 questions.
We do.
What are y'all's thoughts on the upcoming referral program changes? So, you all know about the referral program changing? I forget if it's the end
I
of
only
this
heard
month
about
or...
it, but I didn't hear what the details were.
I don't know the details either.
So it is a complete revamping of the referral rewards program for whatever you
Mhm.
get at different levels of different ships, and then the Million Mile High Club and the free javelin at thousands of referrals. So in revamping this, all of your referrals up to that date are erased. So if you have 1,000 referrals
Mhm.
at that date, they're erased.
Okay.
And you are starting fresh from scratch with
Mhm.
everybody else. And that is pissing off a lot of people because they have worked for years. You know, we're not all board gamer. We're not all
Yeah,
morphology.
my
We're not all
understanding
people
before you
that are
go
writing
too far,
games a
Joran,
lot.
Yeah, it's
before you go
changed.
too far with that, my understanding is that's already changed. They are going to allow people to keep the number of referrals that they've had.
Did they really? So I haven't heard that
Yeah,
yet. I mean, that would be great if they
yeah,
did because I have heard so many people so upset about that, and I
Mhm.
have been tracking this
yeah,
one, but I haven't heard that change. If they have, that would be great because
yeah.
I can't imagine a worse, just a knife in the back, like,
Mm-hmm.
analogy. Horrible, horrible. I don't think anything about it because I mean I have like 20 referrals in my.
Mhm.
I don't
I've got
have
less. I've
many,
got less
but
than
people.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but people are pretty.
my understanding is that there's still going to be a new program, but people will be able to keep the number that they had. So,
I mean, how hard is that?
Mm.
It's like, oh,
right.
everybody has a certain number. We're just going to change the number. You know, the rewards for those numbers. So if you have 1,000, when you hit 1,200 or whatever the next reward level is, you get those new. You don't get any rewards below whatever that threshold that you're at.
Their
Mhm.
They
DBA
should
just
be able to
didn't want to
write a
be bothered
database.
by it.
We've seen how their database works over the past many years. They don't seem to be very good at it.
Say that, but
Whenever they roll out things to the community, inevitably it's always a problem. Like, somehow. What are
Well,
your
It
thoughts?
makes
we say
technology just
that, but
complicated.
I've been in. Sorry, it's Gallion. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, no, I didn't say anything. Go ahead.
I was going to say we say that we have a lot of characterizations of CIG's communication, and they are human beings. They are not perfect, right? Um, but I wish some of the other gaming environments I've been in were responsive to backer feedback the way CIG has been in a lot of circumstances.
yeah.
I wish
100.
FIFA and EA were responsive to gamer feedback. I
Mm-hmm.
wish that Star Wars Battlefront was responsive to gamer feedback. I wish that
Yeah,
I wish
Elite Dangerous and
Twitch.
Frontier
but
were more
Twitch
responsive to
Wizards,
gamer
yeah, like
feedback. So
CCP,
yeah,
any of the other games. CIG is human, and they're a large corporation, and you know, that they have their foibles, but and they have uh, done so much that has earned our loyalty over all these years, and So we all have different things that we complain about at various times, but we're all in here positive on the big picture in the future. And like, we love our spaceships. We love the game. We love Jared. We love Chris. We love Xylo. I mean, we love a lot of people. We don't love some other people. Won't name those people.
I love everybody. Sorry, I love everybody.
So what are your thoughts on the flight blades we purchased? Okay, so we talked about that. Do you think they will switch the paint and armor packs up to be ship day specific? No? Do you think they will switch the paint and armor packs up to be ship day specific? It seems like they're just releasing them all at once on those. An opinion on the Idris dominating the Hathor mission. Haven't heard anything about that. Have y'all?
No.
The Idris is going to dominate wherever it goes.
That's true.
So,
Oh gosh.
Pretty much. I've pretty much been hearing that everything that's going on is just swarmed with Idrises as of today. So the Hathor mission, the Kill the Polaris mission, and it is not just everybody using Idrises to kill the Polaris. The Idrises are showing up and just killing everybody. So be prepared. The Idris is the largest griefer ship in Star Citizen history now, because you have one pilot and a nearly unkillable ship with an ultimate weapon that is pilot control.
God, I want it so much.
They need to break that. They need to break that. They need to break that down. They need to. That needs to change. I do not like that. That needs to change dramatically.
So
pilots should be just piloting. That's all they should be doing is piloting. Nothing else. That's all they should be doing is piloting. That's it.
in an Idris, absolutely. Yeah.
That's all they should be doing.
And the new size 12 torpedoes are pilot controlled.
Nope. They take them away too. Take those away too.
At least with the torpedoes. Like I don't know, I can kind of see after flying. I mean, you've got to be maneuvering the ship to where your beam is going to be to put the beam on target, or your railgun. But yeah, I mean, this was inevitable that we were going to see this. So be prepared. You're going to have massive Idris griefing out there.
Yeah, that's true. Perseus, because according to that Perseus video a long time ago, it could split other ships in half just by ramming into it. So that's my plan for my Perseus. So yeah.
This is when all you Ares owners need to start getting your act together and get out there and start tearing those Idrises up. That's what you need to be doing.
Is everybody else kill the Idris? Well, so what if they fix the bounty missions to where if you have a criminal who's piloting an Idris, it automatically becomes like a $10 million bounty or something, or 10 million UEC bounty, like, because they're in this ship, and then that gets that many more people involved. It's not just a person; it's this person in a capital ship.
Mm-hmm. You got to capture him.
Might help balance things. Might. For the cake kit, do we need to? Do we have to equip all weapons individually, or is there a way to do them all at once? You do have to equip them all individually in your Mobiglass vehicle loadout manager. It's not that hard, and you'll have to do it.
Excuse me.
And that covers all of our questions.
Woohoo!
Covered a lot of stuff today. It was a busy. It
was a crazy day.
Good things going on. It has been a crazy day and a crazy time. But do we want to just touch the Bar Citizen website real quick on the upcoming Bar Citizens, in addition to Las Vegas?
Sure. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff upcoming. The Bar Citizen International guys, all of the Bar Citizen organizers around the world have been doing a lot of out there. We have a lot going on. Illinois. I'm not sure where in Illinois. I need to put the city on
Springfield. It was Springfield yesterday, I think it was. Yep.
Okay.
Going to be in Cleveland this weekend coming up.
Nice. Yeah, we've got DFW, Neo, Austin, Taiwan, Boise, Manchester, Colorado Springs, lots and lots of places. Get on the barcitizen.sc website to find Bar Citizens near you, or Discords for Bar Citizens in your region.
Mm-hmm.
The Bar Citizen World Tour, CIG, is visiting many, many more Bar Citizens. So that's on the CIG World Tour website. on RSI, and they are going to many of these, and they're having several hundred people show up. We just had one in Tennessee, in Nashville, and they had 200 and some odd people were out there. Nick at Night helped put that one together, assist the local bar citizen organizer, and that was a huge success. And
Nice.
more and more of these. CIG has been extremely supportive of Bar Citizen, bringing local nerds together
Mm-hmm.
in towns near you, hopefully.
Tampa, July 19th. Be there, be square, Daddy-O.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I may have
Just
to try to
saying.
work that one in.
Get a fidget spinner, Joran.
Don't have a CIG fidget spinner.
There you go. It's your
So
opportunity.
let's run
Ben
that last
Cannolis has
giveaway
come.
for that Atlas Geo. And then we'll find someone
everything
great.
begins and ends with Sigelian pizza. So, that's really the part of it.
Yeah, Sigelian, we got to get you in Vegas next year. We're going to have to work it out, bro. We're going to have to talk.
Okie dokie. Twisted my arm.
Get him out there.
Yeah.
Let's run this thing.
Run that giveaway.
Good luck, everybody.
Ta-da.
Good luck.
Here we go.
Ice Gremlin. Are you here, Ice Gremlin? There they are. I think I saw
There they
them. Yep.
are.
Woohoo.
Congratulations.
Congrats, Ice Gremlin.
Ice Gremlin was
Nice.
they were leaning over the keyboard. They weren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
They were right there. Like, I am not going anywhere for this giveaway. Get to win an Atlas Geo with a jump jack.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Congrats to everybody. Yep.
Yes.
And thanks
Very
for
nice.
joining us. It's been a great time to hang out with the community and talk about all the fun stuff. Have everybody back.
It's good to see you guys back on tonight. It's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
But try to stick to our every 2-week cadence. So in 2 weeks, I think we'll try to have. Grim, are you still out there? Are you going to be on in 2 weeks with us? It would be really great if you are. I'll reach out and see if we can try to confirm that. And hopefully nothing comes up in real life to derail us again, and we'll be back on our normal thing. We can talk about all this cool stuff that happened with Invictus. So who are we rating there, Mr. T. Nightster?
We're going to go visit our good friend Abdi Johan.
Abdi.
Oh,
Awesome.
Abdi. Soul
Awesome.
Citizen. Yay. Thank you.
So thanks for everybody for joining us. I know we're not as regular as we used to be every single week, but we're trying to get regular
Taking our
again. And it's still
Metamucil.
just yes, we're taking our Metamucil, but it's still such a fun time to hang out and just talk about stuff and share with everybody. And Stim will be back with us too, and we can be our full crew again and able to interact with everybody and hang out. So in the meantime, join us in the Discord, ! Discord. There, if you want to hit that one. We'll be doing an Idris meetup on Saturday. So if you have an Idris, bring it, 4 p.m. Eastern time. If you don't have an Idris, just come hang out. It's going to be a Yacht Club extravaganza. Lots and lots of gigantic ships and every other ship you want to bring. We're just going to fill it up as many people as possible. So join the Yacht Club Discord. Come hang out. It's going to be a great time. And then in July in Las Vegas or the live stream, make sure you go and vote for your favorite machinimas. Catch all the machinimas over the past 9 years. Go check that out.
Yep.
All right, everybody. We'll see you in the Discord, or we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Go Sevens.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
That was fun.